la ciencia.
Me, myself, and I still pushing forward, I'm ahead like die. Standing on my flow with my head to the sky. Pass on a bitch, young rip, drop dimes. It's been a rough road, gotta look for the signs. I'm married to this music, so I cook for my bride. Flip out like a skateboarder, look how I grind. It took a long time, but I'm right on time. I'm progressing, that's progressive, I got bars like a correction. Still chasing petty cash, that's a mantis. I want extra, I stop searching for my pops. I hold my nuts just like a checkup. I get physical, I'm copping just like Interpol. I play on words like a syllable, to me the world is fading. Hold this L just like a Laker, like a birthday, my shit caking. It get messy like an apron, I pick out just like some bacon, and I sizzle like it too. Can't forget about you, boo, it feel like we on a loop. Same shit, different day, I don't know what's really true. I get high as I leave hoops, who gon' give me what I'm owed? Man, I guess nobody knew, and I know that money talks, so what it said is probably true. It's the feeling that I get, and the shit I'll probably do to get through or get by. I get fly, cause I'm Jeff Goldblum in my mind. Tell them hoes to fall in line. If you thought I fell off, bitch, I'm back like my spine. Hot as homemade pie, that's the pro rate, ma. I'm a pro, ain't I? Sniff it out like K9s. I'm a thief, it take time to be great, I'm Bayside. I get blue like Kelly Parker, when I'm gone I left a mark. Tell them fish I'm still a shark, I got will, I will embark on this journey till it's finished. In the midst of all this friction, I got vision on my P's like no limit. Like a mouse, now we clicking, I go out for the spinach, that's business.
Cut the cord that kept us connected, blacking out the mirror where your light once reflected. All of the love from up above, we used to fit like a glove. I still think about the you that only exists in my brain. Nothing ever stays the same, guess it's just a shame. There's no one to blame.
Stop looking for somebody else to lay the blame. Without a wave of change, life stays the same. So when I pull up to your spot, I'm with a paradigm chick. Only used to have one and it's my paradigm ship. Calls for celebration, I cracked the hen. I took a hiatus, but I'm back again. A bunch of blue face hundreds, I've been stacking them. Cause in the game of life, I just have to win. So when I'm in go mode, I be ballin' insane. Tried to walk away, they was calling my name. My brothers from another, we are all in the game. Don't give a fuck about clout, nor all of the fame. I'm trying to inspire, empower, build and progress at a steady rate. Move heavyweight like a Bowflex. The haters make me greater, they mad, I got them so stressed. Shock my style for a while now, I can show text. Screenshots as proof and receipts. You a certified clown, been a goof in the streets. Angel made the beat, but this my demon flow. Get a lot of love from people I don't even know. And when the situation's ugly like Dudley, we do right. Fuck propaganda, let's conquer and unite. The wait's over, take over, it's commencing. My money fully grown, but yours like an infant. But that ain't no shade to you, it's just provision and protection, what you made to do. Being a man with a purpose, who you supposed to be. Living life as a loser, that's a joke to me. FN 509, stay close to me. If I pull it, I'ma spray like some potpourri. I don't wanna have to go there, so hopefully you don't try to have no beef or no smoke with me. Bro, everything I'm talking about, be backing it up. I'm back in the cuts, rapping the Dutch and macking a hut. She start to get aroused when I'm smacking her butt. Baby got stupid cheeks and she be clapping it up. I'ma enter through the front and hit the back of her guts. She a classy lady but be acting a slut. When we be kissing and cuddling, my bitch like to hug. Her box customized so it fit like a glove.
Turn your radios up. Turn your radios up. Y'all know what this is. Y'all know who this is. B-Eazy Dat Dude, an impromptu stream, back with another one. And I've already been joined by an illustrious guest, the sophisticated, the marvelous, the captivating, sincere Saida in the building. Now, I don't like to keep y'all waiting. I ain't gonna be here for too much of a long time because my boy Big Red gonna do a stream. I'ma rock out. I'll probably go over there afterwards. So I don't like to keep y'all waiting. Well, it wasn't even complimentary. I was just stating facts. You can take it as a compliment, or you can take it as the truth. It's up to you. And the people are already starting to come in. I don't like to keep y'all waiting. So before we get this thing started, you know, I gotta hit you.
If you know the song, sing along. Yeah, you're right.
私も地元民と言っても自分は世代です。もう友達できたの？うん。ぶったまんまこっち見ない。
Look, this promethazine got me leaning like a cholo in the club. I'm 20 deep. I don't be riding solo. Pull some bad bitches, they vanilla and cocoa. They wanna take some photos when we kick it out in Soho. Chicks are showing tits and popping pussy for my promo. Told them like juvenile, baby, moving for me slow mo. Then I'm right back to the block, cause I keep getting moto. I be flipping, not shrinking. I don't give a fuck about no ho, no ho. This nigga name ain't D-Lo, but pimpin' these bitches and stacking this bread forever be my stilo. This is B-Eazy Dat Dude in the trap making pass smooth. If I ever go broke, then I'm about to pull a jack move. Since a nigga healthy, I don't even gotta worry. With my bitch from Fiji eating tandoori and chicken curry, that ism is really indie. My pimp game international. I design my own clothes, so I be always looking fashionable. Here's a couple facts about me that y'all didn't know. Some of y'all be getting bread, but I be getting bigger, dawg. I got bigger guns and a whole lot of bad.
And we are activated, and we getting right into it. You seen the title, you seen the thumbnail. We ain't even gonna wait, but I gotta give a shout out to Sha Ra King. Sha Ra King, you kind of lacking today. What happened? You usually here first, but Sincere Saida beat you, but it's always good for you to be number 2. Salute to the fam, Sha Ra King and building. So let me go ahead and pull this right now. Are people having voters remorse? Y'all know the song, I will vote for Donald Trump. I will vote for Donald Trump. But are they, I mean, that was a little jam, right? You feel me? But are they having voters remorse? I asked a simple question, and we're gonna get into this. This is the preface, and then I'm gonna get into a video from a Latino man, Ricardo Ignacio. He's gonna talk about how some of the Latinos for Trump, some of them are having voters remorse, some of them are holding strong. So across multiple news sources, some Latino voters who supported Trump have publicly expressed regret. Now, this is not a universal sentiment. Some are saying, oh my God, I regret it. And others are saying, this is exactly what I voted for. In terms of immigration enforcement, it's hitting their own community. So some people, when he said they're bringing crime, they're bringing drugs, they're bad people, they come from shithole countries, right? When Trump was saying that, people thought he was talking about other people. He didn't think that he was talking about y'all. So you know how people be like, man, F the other side, man. Okay, yeah, you thought he was talking about the other side. He was talking about the other side and your side. So while you were saying F the other side, he was saying F you. Trump doesn't give a flying fig about your community, but you was still out there. Not all, but many was still, I will vote for Donald Trump, and then now he's deporting y'all, unfortunately. So this is where the sentiment says many are feeling betrayed by his policy decisions. For example, Venezuelan American voters who supported Trump were upset when their temporary protected status were ended. They called it beyond betrayal. So they're saying betrayal is one, and they're saying no. This went beyond betrayal because what happened is Biden flew a bunch of Venezuelans in. I believe it was like 650,000, and he said, here, you guys have temporary protected status with the stroke of a pen. And then Trump came with the stroke of a pen and said, y'all got to go. Now, the mass deportations is really theatrical and overblown. So he's really not deporting as much people as he's kind of puffing his chest up about. But in terms of the Venezuela specifically, this is why they kidnapped Maduro, which nobody is even talking about that anymore. It's crazy, and I always bring this up. Diddy got more coverage than them going and kidnapping and doing a military coup on another president. Diddy had bottles of baby oil, and somehow that is more important than the Epstein list. That is more important than Maduro. It's just wild, you know what I mean? But anyways, they were saying Maduro was emptying the jails, right? So, and there were a lot of Tren de Aragua gang members. They were usually what they always do, dump them in a black neighborhood. Then when they clash, and then if you beat somebody up, they call you xenophobic for beating an undocumented immigrant. It's like, that wasn't just a harmless person. This was a Tren de Aragua gang member. So they don't really disaggregate between the two. Like Trump will just call them all gang members. Nah, there's a lot of them who are law-abiding, hard-working citizens, and then there are a lot of gang members in there. This is not me reporting this. This is Homeland Security, and everyone, they always talk about how violent Tren de Aragua is. And now we want to pretend as if, it's just this sweet little innocent gang being dropped into a black neighborhood, right? So Venezuelans, and not only them, other Latino ethnic people who are ethnically Latino, they feel betrayed by Trump. But like I said, this is what you voted for. So the only thing is they don't care what Trump is doing. They only care that he's doing it to them. Because when they say, oh, we felt betrayed that he ended our temporary protected status, he ended it for Haitians too. They're not saying they feel betrayed because he ended it for them. If he ended it for them but kept it for Venezuelans, would Venezuelans care? No. But I thought we were all minorities. I thought we were all people of color. No, but it seems like every person is out for themselves. Every ethnic group is out for themselves. Everyone seems to be telling other groups to hold your own nuts. And if that's the political climate and society that we're operating in, you would be foolish to not operate that same way. Everyone is pretending as if they're trying to come together. Well, I'll come together. You take the lead. We've already shown the propensity for leadership of coming together and fighting for civil rights. But while we were fighting for civil rights, other people were fighting for Chicano rights and Asian rights and stuff, which is fine. But just tell us that up front. Don't use us as the political doormat and crash out dummy to say, go protest for ICE so we can get more Latino immigrants. But it's like, y'all not even talking about the African and Caribbean immigrants. Oh, yeah, man, fuck them. What about us? You know what I mean? Protest for them in TPS. For the Haitians? No, for the Venezuelans. Okay. Well, they say there is disappointment early in the administration. There was a bipartisan survey that found many Latino voters, including some who supported Trump, felt the country was headed in the wrong direction. Huh? How is the country headed in the wrong direction when this is what you voted for? This is what you wanted. You wanted the country to go into this direction because Trump told you everything that he was going to do. Y'all was saying that it ain't no racism. Stop complaining. Stop begging. White supremacy is a hoax. So, okay, fine. White supremacy is a hoax. Racism doesn't exist. What are we complaining about again? But now the same people, they were saying, y'all act like victims. Why y'all always begging? Y'all always in the streets protesting. All right, fine. We won't act like victims and we won't protest in the street. Now they're telling us to go out in the streets, get victimized for them and protest. Things that they were just denigrating and ridiculing. Protesting don't do nothing. Okay, fine. If it doesn't do anything, why you want us out there in the street protesting for ICE? You want us protesting against ICE when the majority of your community wanted this? And are they really against ICE, or are they just against ICE attacking their community? Because like I said, the numbers, all the per capita idiots, they're not talking about that African and Caribbean immigrants have a much lower number and they're being deported at a disproportionately higher rate. I thought all lives matter. This is a nation of immigrants, so why do we only care about certain types of immigrants, right? While y'all care about the Latino immigrants, I'll care about everyone else, because it seems to be like that's all it's about. DACA, right? This is for the dreamers, which they took Martin Luther King, a foundational Black American, took I Have a Dream and made it for mainly Latinos. Oh no, the DACA is for everyone, right? But then if you look at the main recipients of it, it's predominantly Latino, Hispanic. I mean, is that not DEI? Is that not affirmative action? But no one cares because it's bipartisan. You know, there's no race called Latino or Hispanic, so many of them racially are white. So you know, it helps a lot, you know. They get to replenish the white numbers. They get to have births, you know, because immigrant families have more births than American families. So, you know, this when they say it's the great replacement, it's not a theory, it is a strategy, you know what I mean? But yeah, so these reports don't mean all or even most Latino Trump voters regret their choice. Many still support him strongly. Latino political identity is not monolithic. See how people understand delineation, but see, when it comes to foundational Black Americans, they want to collapse us as in we all Black. We all one big global Negro. And for a while, many of us had went along. There were people that were always rejecting it, but other people were being ostracized as xenophobic. But it wasn't xenophobic. Sometimes people are trying to have intellectual sovereignty and preserve their culture and heritage, especially since it's the most emulated, it's the most extracted and exported, you know what I mean? But as you can see here, it says Latino political identity is not a monolith. Cuban, Mexican, Puerto Rican, Venezuelan, Central American, and other communities have different political priorities. So they've convinced us that all black people vote Democrat. And since they Black, man, they all came from Africa, so they all the same. No, that's not really the case. Someone from Senegal doesn't really have the same interests as a foundational Black American from Oakland or from Texas or something. It doesn't mean that one or the other is better. It just means that it's different. And people act confused. They start acting as if you're talking quantum physics. Hold on. What do y'all mean delineation? This is delineation on the screen. Cuban, Mexican, Puerto Rican, Venezuelan. Why y'all not calling them all one big Latino, right? I'm not the same as a Caribbean person. I'm not the same as a Jamaican, a Haitian, or anything. Yes, we have similarities, but we're not the same ethnically. You know what I mean? And that's okay. If you say, man, y'all is the same. Okay, well, tell a Cuban that he's the same as a Mexican. No, that's different. So Cubans and Mexicans are different, but foundational Black Americans and Congolese people are the same. Puerto Ricans and Venezuelans are different, but Nigerians and Ghanaian people are the exact same. Hondurans and Brazilians, no, they're different, right? Everyone gets to delineate and disaggregate, but when it comes to us, they try to just flat blackness us to death. And it really weakens us. And then not only that, it just distorts reality and culture. It just throws people in the pot. Cynthia Revo, a Nigerian British woman, comes over here. Oh, she's Black American like you. No, she's not. Well, she's Black. You can't deny her Blackness, and she has American citizenship. So she's Black American. Okay. She's Nigerian, but from Britain. She's African. She's African American. That her history is just like yours. Idris Elba, who talks like Cheerio, would you like a spot of tea? Hey, he grew up just like you. How? He grew up in the UK. It's not the same. I want to know the differences, but they try to flat blackness us to death, and those days are over. And unfortunately, many people are pushing back against it. And the Democrats and many of the Tethers and the Sambo class, they just want to keep us as one big global Negro, while every other group gets to delineate and disaggregate. This is not about hatred. This is about specificity. I didn't grow up eating curried goat, naan and curry, tandoori chicken, a goosey soup, bush meat, lamb. I'm not knocking any of that stuff, salute to the cultures that it's from. We come from a different lineage and a different culture, and that's all people are saying, right? It's almost like if you say, hey, samurai culture, you got to give credit to the Filipinos because Filipinos are Asian, so they can take credit for samurai culture. When you think of samurai culture, do you think of Filipinos? When you think of samurai culture, do you think of people from Thailand? They're all Asian, right? Like, come on now. Even when you think of certain music artists, right? Do you think of someone from Nigeria? Do you think of someone from the Congo? Or do you think of a Black American? Whether they're foundational or not, is someone who came to America to get it popping, i.e. Akon. Akon came over here because he couldn't get it popping in Senegal. He came cosplaying and tethering onto FBA culture. Then he took a dump on it. But you know what I mean? His own culture that he says is so rich and powerful, he couldn't hold mustard with it. He had to tether onto ours. So what we're saying is like, no, we're not just interchangeable. We're not all just one and the same. You know what I mean? But that's just the preface of the video. I kind of went on a tangent just because, it's just getting irritating where people are pretending as we just don't understand delineation. Okay, we'll call a Native American and say, a Choctaw is no different than a Cherokee. Y'all all Indian, huh? Go tell a Blackfoot you're no different than a Seminole. Y'all all Native American. There's over 560 plus federally recognized Native tribes, and not all of them are Native. Many of them are pretendians and $5 Indians. That's another story for another day, right? But if there's over 500 federally recognized tribes, guess how many there are even that aren't recognized? Legitimate tribes. It's just they weren't recognized federally, so that makes them illegitimate in the eyes of society, right? But it's pretty heavy. But let me get ready to pull this video up. And salute to everyone in the chat. It looks like I've been joined by the Florida family. Sunlight from the Sunshine State, shining brighter than a diamond in the building. I'm gonna bring this video up right here. It's a video from the brother Ricardo Ignacio. Salute to this hermano. He's probably one of the only ones that is willing to call out his community. And this is not, hey, let's stick it to the Latinos. We call out everyone here because we're Americans, right? So we have to call out each other. And one group that's constantly being held accountable, drugged through the mud and the fire is the Black American community, especially the foundational Black American community. So we're gonna hold everyone to account, and I'll let the brother speak for his community. You can watch this video uninterrupted at Ricardo Ignacio Podcast, and it's called Latinos for Trump Get Deported.
To God. Maria Hernandez was deported on Tuesday after ICE raided her Miami home.
Hey, Latinos for Trump, I got something for you. Check this out.
You're on a road to Cuba, go take that ride. No tenga miedo, suba, lárguese ya. You are the one that voted for Donald Trump. You made a song about it. You're so dumb. Here they come.
I'm Hispanic and I vote for Mr. Trump.
Unfortunately, many Latinos that didn't vote for Trump.
Hey, shout out to that lady. I'm Hispanic. I will vote for Donald Trump. I will vote for Donald Trump. Shout out to Big Rick Slaps. I will vote for Big Rick Slaps. I will vote for Big Rick Slap. Let's get back into it.
Have to pay the price for the Latinos that did vote for Trump. And that's the reason why I celebrate. Oh, Ricardo, but they have a family. They voted for this. They're getting what they voted for. And I celebrate because I get to see a lot of Latinos that didn't vote for Trump pay the price for the pendejos that voted for him. And that is why I rejoice.
And just to be clear, I will be pausing the video, interjecting to give context, and interacting with the chat. So just so I make the video transformative. Sincere says, if you're Hispanic, I would think you being geographically located to Hispaniola, which is Caribbean and Dominican Republic. So technically, Haitians are they really are Hispanic, but the way they frame it is that they're not Hispanic because they were colonized by the French, but they're on the same island. It just really doesn't even make any sense. So Dominicans are considered Hispanic, but Haitians aren't, but both of them are considered the Caribbean. All of these things are social constructs, but in terms of geography, then yes, geographically, you know, they're Latino, they're Hispanic, they're Caribbean. And it's ultimately up to the person how they identify. If a Haitian says that they're Hispanic, it would be accurate for them to say that, you know what I mean? Now, whether many of them identify as that or not, I've heard more of them identify with being Caribbean more so than being Hispanic.
They're getting what they voted for. And I celebrate because I get to see a lot of Latinos that didn't vote for Trump pay the price for the pendejos that voted for him. And that is why.
Oh, damn. Look, I was trying to play the video like, hold on. Big Roger, is that really your page? Because Roger, I thought I gave you a mod stick. So is this your real page? Roger, is this really you or is this a troll page?
Wait a damn minute. Wait a damn minute.
Say, hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Nope. Dovii, no provii. Trust but verify.
So I'm trying to trust but verify. Roger Meadows, is that really you? Okay, I'm like, bruh, who is this?
Who the hell are you?
Roger?
Who the hell are you?
All right, let's get back into it.
Voted for. And I celebrate because I get to see a lot of Latinos that didn't vote for Trump pay the price for the pendejos that voted for him. And that is why I rejoice and I celebrate when I see Latinos that voted for Trump and that felt it was so important to make videos praising that.
Yeah, and this is what people are trying to pretend as if they don't know. How Sincere said She believes that they thought all black people would get locked up and removed to Africa because, this is why they always try to Africanize us. You're African America, this is your motherland and all this stuff. So they always want us looking to this distant place and saying, here, you need to go back to Wakanda, a place that didn't even exist, right? They want you looking past your families being here for centuries to look back to a continent that you know nothing about. And most of us have never been. They say all of your culture was stripped, and then they turn around and say, yeah, that's your culture. How could that be my culture when you said it was stripped, destroyed, etched out of memory? So we had to create something new from scratch. But when you say that they thought it was going to be us, it's because we've been framed as the criminals, the didn't do nothing, 1350, joggers, usual suspects. So when people talk about criminality, they associate it with blackness. So when they do the dog whistles and saying, yeah, we're going to get the criminals out there, we're going to be tough on crime, it's like, yes, finally, they're going to lock up the niggers. That's pretty much what people are saying. But the dog whistle is like, I can't remember which politician that said it, but he said, yeah, well, you can't really say the N word anymore. So you got to say things like states' rights and busings and stuff, things that disproportionately hurt black people, but it also hurts white people, but it's framed as it's hurting black people. So white and non-black people just go along with it. So when he's framing, yeah, man, we're going to get the criminals, and then they plaster a bunch of black faces. Yeah, get them out of here. Send them back to Africa. Send them back to the sub-Saharan shithole where they belong. And then he turns around and he is deporting African and Caribbeans at a disproportionately higher rate. But that same dude turns around and looks at his the Latino American countries that the U.S. assisted in destabilizing, and he calls them shitholes too. And what is he saying? They're not sending their best. They're bringing drugs. They're bringing crime. He's calling them grapists. He's calling them everything except the child of God. But still, I will vote for Donald Trump. And then when you say, hey, this is what you voted for, help me, protest. Protest for what? For you to vote again for Donald Trump? I'm good. Hold your own Weibles. Let's get back into it.
And that is why I rejoice and I celebrate when I see Latinos that voted for Trump and that.
Hey, and I'm not being insensitive. I'm just same energy, same logic. This is a Latino person saying this, so I'm following his lead, so and shout out to Phoenix Fire and Roger and whoever else slid through the chat. Salute to y'all. Let's get back into it.
Celebrate. Oh, Ricardo, but they have a family. They voted for this. They're getting what they voted for. And I celebrate because I get to see a lot of Latinos that didn't vote for Trump pay the price for the pendejos that voted for him. And that is why I rejoice and I celebrate when I see Latinos that voted for Trump and that felt it was so important to make videos praising that orange piece of shit. And in return, now that orange piece of shit is sending them back to chingar a su reputísima madre, to the shithole countries that they came from. Bye. I ain't got no compassion for you. And it's too damn bad that you only getting deported to your country. Because honestly, if it was up to me, the ones that voted for Trump, they're the ones that deserve to get sent to Alligator Alcatraz. They're the ones that deserve to be shoved in those ICE detention centers and get starved and get left in the goddamn cold because they had zero compassion.
Yikes, I wasn't going this far with it, but hey, let me hermano cook. Bro is going in. And shout out to Kimberly Black. I think this is the first time I seen you over here, Kimberly Black. So salute to you. Appreciate you. Hopefully you subscribe to the channel. I'll keep hitting you with some interesting, intriguing, and intellectual content. Let's get back into it. But like I said, this person is a Latino. He loves his community, loves his family. I believe he's a teacher as well. So, sometimes, in order to make an omelet, you do got to crack some eggs. It is unfortunate. It is unfortunate, but how else is the omelet going to get made, But for the people that think that, oh my God, this rhetoric is so harsh, remember, this truly is what these people voted for. I know sometimes that is overblown and people make too much of it. You voted for it, so suffer. I'm not on that type time. However, Trump was extremely explicit. He said how tight he was going to lock the border, like even a mouse wouldn't even be able to get through. He was calling people, saying he even were naming people, saying Mexico, they're not sending their best. He was calling them traffickers. He was calling them grapists, everything but a child of God. And still, y'all know the song, I will vote for Donald Trump even after that. So what am I supposed to do? Seriously.
Honestly, if it was up to me, the ones that voted for Trump, they're the ones that deserve to get sent to alligator Alcatraz. They're the ones that deserve to be shoved in those ICE detention centers and get starved and get left in the goddamn cold because they had zero compassion when they made that vote. On the contrary, they maliciously made that vote because they wanted to see other Latinos get deported. So I am very glad that these pieces of shit, Latinos for Trump, I'm so glad you guys are getting sent the F out of here. Bye. You know what's funny? One moment, they're dancing around with their dicko accents. You can barely make out what they're even saying. Talking about, I bought for Trump, see. And then when ICE pulls up, grabs them, and sends them the frick out of here, then they want to get on video talking about, I thought Trump said only deport criminal. But what you don't understand, Guadalupe Maria, Dolores, Gonzalez, is that to Trump and to those white Christian conservatives, if you're not white, you're a criminal. You know that phrase? If you look illegal, we can pull you over and check if you're documented. What do you think looking illegal means? Guadalupe, Jose, Pedro, Maria? It means, and I'm going to put it in the most whitest way I can, if you look like a spick, then you get treated like one. Welcome to Gringolandia. And now you know how things work around here.
Yikes. Hey, y'all. Oh, my bad. It's only a few more seconds. I'm going to let it play. And then I have another video from him. But bro is going in. Yikes.
If you look like a spick, then you get treated like one. Welcome to Gringolandia. And now you know how things work around here. But now it's too late. Because now, a la chingada.
Okay, so like I said, this person is a Latino gentleman, so he's going in right now. He has no sympathy for the people that was deported by ICE. And now there's many of the people that were singing the praises. Now it's hitting home. They thought that the deportations that they were going to deport, apparently they thought foundational Black Americans was immigrants. We kept telling y'all we not immigrants. And I got to give a shout out to my boo, what it did do in building. But yeah, I guess they thought, we kept telling y'all, foundational Black American freedom, and there's no definition in any dictionary. Oxford's, Merriam, Google, Copilot, Grok, there's no definition that you can find that will definitively say that we're immigrants. Now, people could try to frame us and create a narrative that we're immigrants, but no, there's no place to deport us to. They're going to send y'all back to Africa. What back to Africa? There's no place in Africa to send me. My family was building here for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, multiple hundreds, and some would say even further than that. But I think even hundreds is enough. Many people immigrated here after the 80s and in the early 2000s, as when you start talking about certain African populations and stuff. you know, my family has been in this land longer than Nigeria and all of these places have existed. So when you're saying deport me back to, like, there's no place for me to get deported back to. Now, you, on the other hand, you do have a place where you can get deported back to. And don't try to equate my lineage, heritage, and historical place in this land to yours. It's just different. I'm not saying I'm better. I'm not saying nana nana boo boo. I'm just saying it's just different. And it's crazy because many people really thought that FBAs was going to get deported and they didn't care if it was us. But then now it's hitting home and like, oh my God, save us. No, hold your own huevos.
Mi hijo no es un indocumentado, mi hijo es otro latino más que está sufriendo en carne propia lo que miles de latinos hoy están sufriendo en Estados Unidos. Hoy ellos se encuentran enfermos, están enfermos, mi hijo está enfermo, al igual que todos los que se encuentran con él en esa celda, personas que como él no son delincuentes. Por eso es que hoy, con este grito desesperado como madre, pido la intervención del Estado para que colombianos puedan regresar de manera rápida a su país.
Cállate el hocico, cabrona hedionda. So, for those of you that do not understand Spanish, this Colombian mother, you see her in the beginning dancing, her husband joining her to the dance because they're celebrating voting for Trump. Or, as they say, I vote for Trump. So you see her dancing, celebrating. But then guess what happened? Her son was detained by ICE and got shoved into an ICE facility, and they will not release him. So now she makes a video crying, and in this video she expresses something along the lines of, my son is a human being. He doesn't deserve this. He's suffering. We need to do something about it. So he's returned home. So what I decided to do is I decided to bring this. This is the world's smallest violin, playing just for her. And this is what I was talking about in my other videos about Latinos for Trump. See, these Colombians, these Cubans, Venezuelans, they voted for Trump in hopes that other Latinos, Mexicans, Guatemalans would be affected, would be deported, thinking that it wouldn't affect them Cubans, them Venezuelans, them Colombians. Because in case you didn't know, Latinos and or people of Latin America, they're not united. They don't get along. Collectively, the Mexicans don't like the Puerto Ricans, the Cubans don't like the Mexicans, they don't like the Venezuelans, the Colombians don't like the Mexicans, and back and forth. And for whatever reason,
And shout out to Fire. I don't know what happened, but if you look, you should have a wrench. And Roger, you gotta you gotta spill the beans. Hit my line and leave a comment in the chat so I can give you a wrench. I don't know what happened with your mod stick. And also I want to give a sincere shout out to Sincere for sharing me out. Okay, Roger, you left the thing. I'll give you the blue. I don't know what happened, bruh. I thought, I took your black card. I didn't take your wrench. I didn't take both. I only took your black card, which is still pending. You was working towards getting it back, and then you kind of fell off. But with this new bombshell news that you dropped on me, you might get it back. But Roger, I'm gonna give you that wrench back, the black card. I'm gonna hold on to that. But salute to Sincere for sharing me out because you brought the exquisite Kimberly over here. So compliments of Sincere. So I gotta give you a gracious thanks. Let's get back into it.
They don't get along. Collectively, the Mexicans don't like the Puerto Ricans, the Cubans don't like the...
Oh, and this is another thing too, when people always like to say, man, y'all need to be like them other groups. Them other groups stick together. Yeah, they stick together against us. But then as soon as we're not around, if we're not there to be the political doormat, to be the people that some people are playing target practice with. All of these other groups are divided, and people pretend as if they're all united, which is why many terms like Hispanic and Latino are extremely goofy. They frame it as if it's a race, but they know that it's not. So when people say, I'm a proud Latino, yeah, but what race are you though? I'm Latino, I'm Hispanic. No, clearly, like, what race are you? You know, and then it just turns into wheels spinning in mud. Nobody wants to stand on it. And then they look and then they know that there's a difference. When they see a black Hispanic, they can say, yeah, this person is legitimately Hispanic, but no, they're not like me. Well, what's the difference? If y'all all Latino, what's the difference between Sammy Sosa and Jennifer Lopez? I ain't talking about the Sammy Sosa with the bleach and the cake soap. What's the difference between the dark Sammy Sosa and Bad Bunny? They're both Latino, right? Is Bad Bunny and Sammy Sosa or Big Papi, David Ortiz, are they the same race? They're both Latino, right? You know what I mean? But so this person talks about it like, because I know, especially in California, there's a lot of Mexicans. They don't get along with El Salvadorians. They call them dirty and all sorts of other names, you know, not as derogatory as the names they call us, but they definitely don't like each other. But they're framed as one big happily Hispanic family, as if Venezuelans, Hondurans, Brazilians, Cubans, they're all just the same, have the same interests because you put them under one umbrella term, Hispanic, Latino, that is used interchangeably. And most people don't know the difference in definition. It's like, who cares? You know what I mean? But, you know, this is where we're at in the terms of what they say identity politics, which all politics is identity politics. Let's get back into it.
Them Colombians. Because in case you didn't know, Latinos and or people of Latin America, they're not united. They don't get along. Collectively, the Mexicans don't like the Puerto Ricans. The Cubans don't like the Mexicans. They don't like the Venezuelans. The Colombians don't like the Mexicans. And back and forth. And for whatever reason, the Cubans, the Colombians, the Venezuelans, they thought by voting for Trump that it was going to affect other Latinos, but not them. And I find it hypocritical for the same people that deliberately voted for Trump in hopes that other Latinos would be affected, but not them. But as soon as ICE raids were happening, they were now affected. And now they're here begging for mercy, hoping that all of us come together and help them. But let me ask you, Latinos for Trump, something. How did you feel when other people that were not your people, whether you're Colombian, whether you're Cuban, and you were watching, I don't know, Mexicans?
Hey, shout out Mimsy. Appreciate you sliding through.
Whether you're Cuban and you were watching, I don't know, Mexicans, Venezuelans being deported, how did you feel? Did you have compassion? No. You were celebrating. You're probably laughing. But now that your vote came to bite you in the ass, now you want the world to stop. So I have a message for Angela Vergara. That's the Colombian lady in the video that was dancing, celebrating, voting for Trump, and then crying because ICE came to pick up her son. I got a message for her. However, I'm going to say it in Spanish because I'm almost sure she doesn't even understand English. So here we go. Señora, eso le pasa por pendeja. Andaba bailando, celebrando, y estoy 100% seguro que celebraba usted y le daba gusto mirando a otros latinos que fueron deportados. Pero ahora que a su hijo lo agarraron y lo mandaron a la chingada, ahora usted quiere la ayuda de los demás. Aún de repente, usted no quiere discriminación. Usted quiere justicia. Esta es la justicia, cabrona. Usted y su pendejo esposo votaron por esto. Esto es el resultado de sus pendejadas. Y qué lástima que solo fue su hijo. Porque yo quiero que la agarren usted también y a su chingadera de esposo y los manden a chingar a su madre pa' Colombia, cabrones. Pa' que se les quite lo pendejo. Gente como usted no merece compasión. Merecen los resultados de lo que votaron, cabrones. Regrésense a Colombia, póngase a pensar las cosas, siéntese con su familia y hablen de los errores que hicieron, averigüen qué pueden hacer para ya no andar de pendejos y así para que su hijo crezca y no salga igual de estúpido que usted y su chingadera de esposo. Oh, Ricardo, what did you just say? I basically said FAFO season is here, biatch. Yeah, remember that little song they make? I will vote for Donald Trump. Well, not Donald Trump. Grab that same boat, put you in it, and send you back.
Well, now they're trying to rewrite this history. So now it's imperative that everyone, this is not just Black Americans, and when I say Black Americans, I have to specify, I'm talking about foundational Black American freedmen, Negro freedmen, descendants of U.S. chattel slavery. Yes, we can all unite and sing and hold hands, but we don't have to pretend as if we're all the same. If I go to a zoo and I put a leopard and a jaguar in the same cage, and then and you say those are the same cats. No, that's a jaguar. That's a leopard. They're different. Oh, you're being divisive. How am I being divisive? By pointing out the distinction. And that's what people are doing now, saying, you guys are the same. You're just like Ilhan Omar and the Somalis in Minnesota. No, actually, I'm not. Well, y'all all is African, so that means that y'all all African Americans. So y'all the same. One big global Negro. Huh? I never been to Africa. There's no African immigrants in my family. Most of those countries that they try to claim didn't even exist when we were here building. They're rewriting history to try to say the nation was built by immigrants. No, it wasn't. It was built by people who there's no definition you can call an immigrant. There's three groups who are foundational. And I shouldn't even be this gracious with the definition, but I try to keep it fair. There's three groups who are foundational. That's the Native Indigenous who didn't call themselves Native American. They actually rejected that, but now they're called Native American. They didn't call themselves Indian. There's no race called Native American. There's no race called Indian, and there's no race called Indigenous. But we'll just say that the Native population, they are foundational. The colonial settlers, they're foundational. And the foundational Black American freedmen, those who were an amalgamation of descendants of various parts of Africa, forced people who were kidnapped, hostage taking, and trafficked. They mixed in with the indigenous population, part of the paper paper bag test. If you were darker than a paper bag, you just yep, you a nigga. You know what I mean? So all of this history is being erased, and many other groups are complicit in the erasure because they want to puff up this lie that this is a nation built by immigrants. Immigrants contributed heavily, and they should be commended and commemorated for what they did. But nobody immigrates to a shithole. Nobody immigrates to barren land. Nobody says, you know what, we just gonna immigrate over here and try to make it work. No, they immigrate to something that's already thriving, bustling, and popping. I always say, and this is not to denigrate, this is just the fact. Most of these people that try to say, they were heritage Americans and try to act like they were Mayflower descendants, many of them were peasants, right? I could admit that, I have ancestral lineage of people, of enslaved people, but many of these people have lineage like you were a peasant. You come fleeing feudalism. So there were kings, queens, nobles, lords, and everybody else was a peasant. You come from peasant lineage, right? And slaves were held in higher regard than peasants. And actually, the peasants should have been the main ones against slavery because it undercut the work, which is why you had to flee, which is why there were potato famine and all of this stuff. So my ancestors marched in the streets, fought, bled, died. Show me the videos of a bunch of Asians getting dog sicked on them. But now when you talk about civil rights, it was for Asians and it was for trans people and it was for this. Yes, because we were the original all lives matter people. When we said civil rights, it was supposed to be for us, but we said, we want to equalize things across the board. Injustice anywhere is an injustice everywhere. But where were these other groups saying that? Muhammad Ali said, I ain't going to fight in Vietnam. They never called me a nigga. And guess what the Vietnamese start doing when they got over here? Calling us niggas. We refuse to go fight in wars because we're saying what y'all doing to those Vietnamese people is wrong. Tell me an example of one Asian person doing that. Who is the Asian version of MLK? Who's the Asian version of Malcolm X? Who's the Hispanic version of Fred Hampton? That don't talk to me about the brown berets and all this other type of stuff, because when there was Jim Crow, they say, oh, there was Juan Crow, which they're lying. And then even with the Juan Crow, Mexicans and all these Hispanic groups, because it's not a race, were legally classified as white, just like many of them are. And I can pull it up in real time, but y'all should already know this. They fought to say, hey, segregation is cool. Don't treat us like those niggas. We're white. So what I'm saying is, like, other groups, especially non-black groups, y'all should be putting more respect on American history, which is foundational Black American history. Just because it's Black is kind of throwing y'all off, because y'all want to say, nah, y'all really ain't American. But that's you having a colonial mindset. We're more American than you, clearly. And this ain't a contest, but we're just saying there wasn't no America until we built it. You know what I mean? So that's just what it is. You know what I mean? That's why your family wanted to immigrate here, because something beautiful was built. And we should all celebrate it together, but we shouldn't just be lying about the history. One of those lies is the Chinese built the railroad. And shout out to Kimberly Black. Have you heard this before? The Chinese built the railroad. They built the least amount of railroad, but somehow they get the most amount of credit. And shout out to John. Hey, John, I'm going to tap in with you later. It's a lot been going on, but if you want to come up, let me know. I'll drop the link for you. But nobody asks themselves that. Right? We're in the information age. So no one asks, why would they just give all the credit to Chinese people for building the railroad when they built the least amount? Now no one has to take my word for it. You can look it up. And if y'all want to, I will pull this up in real time, because I like to hit y'all with some scholarship. But this is Black History Month, and this is American history. Why? What is with the erasure? Because it's getting infuriating, because people love to say y'all low IQ and all this stuff. Well, you're high IQ, so why don't you know this stuff? Chinese built the railroad, right? Imagine there was a basketball team. One person scored 10 points, another person scored 20 points, and another person scored 80 points. But you're giving all the credit to the person who scored 10 points. What about the person that scored 80 points? So look it up. Chinese people, which they should be commended for, they should be commemorated and celebrated. They built close to 700 miles of railroad, not 7,000, 700. Foundational Black American freedmen built close to 9,000 miles of railroad. Don't take my word for it. Look it up. What is a bigger number? You don't have to be a math whiz, but what is a bigger number? 700 or 9,000? So why do y'all think that the group that laid the groundwork for close to 9,000 miles of railroad, why do you think that they don't get credit? Do you know that there's a mythical character, I think his name is John Henry, of this big Black dude just laying down railroads super fast, super strong and precise? Where's the mythical Asian character that does that? And I'm not saying that this is the end all be all, but the numbers are the numbers. They say the numbers don't lie, but you can lie with numbers. Let's get back into it. And this video is almost over. I'm going to play a little bit back, and then I'm going to just play one other short video of his, and then I'll transition into the next story. And I appreciate all of y'all being over here.
Just say, I basically said, FAFO season is here, biatch. Yeah, remember that little song they make? I will vote for Donald Trump. Well, not Donald Trump. Grab that same boat, put you in it, and send you back to Colombia. Bye-bye, pendejos.
Keep watching. If your recent car accident was
Okay, let me get ready to play this other video. Hold up.
The one that sung that song, this one? I will vote for Donald Trump. You see how happy she is celebrating with the whole...
Hold on, let me rewind that back. I mean, it was kind of jamming. I will vote. I will vote. Got to do a remix. I will vote, but I will vote, but I will vote, but I will vote for Donald Trump. Remix. Let's run that back.
Hey, y'all remember that lady? The one that sung that song, this one? I will vote for Donald Trump. You see how happy she is celebrating with the whole team right there? You ever wonder whatever happened to her ever since that song? Check this out.
Yanet Correa screams injustice after her husband was placed on an expedited deportation order after showing up to his immigration check-in in Miami.
So meanwhile, your vote was ruining other people's lives. You were singing and dancing, I will vote for Donald Trump. But now that your vote came knocking on your door, grab your husband and sent him back to the shithole country that he comes from, now it's injustice? No. Injustice was your vote harming the people that didn't vote for that orange piece of shit. Justice is when your vote came to harm you. In fact, that's the only justice that exists. It is unfortunate that so many people have to pay for your stupidity. Oh, but don't start crying now. Come on. Let's continue singing and dancing. Come on. Y'all remember back in the day in the early 2000s when we were kids? They had the Disney sing-alongs. Well, this is Pendejos for Trump sing-alongs. You ready? I will vote for Donald Trump. Boom, boom, boom. I will vote boom, boom, for Donald Trump. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, but more than likely, this Cuban lady doesn't understand English. So, allow me to switch gears and switch over to my Cuban accent. Say hello to my little friend. I even got the shirt. Hija de puta, come pinga, tú estás escuchando. En este país, no importa cuánto le besas el culo a los gringos. Hasta te puedes blichar el...
And Fire says the ish slinging working class humans afflict each other with is maddening. Yeah, it's unfortunate. You know what I mean? Like, really, we should all be singing Kumbaya, holding hands, making s'mores, and telling, ghost stories over an open campfire. Unfortunately, that's not what's going on. And, there is a sinister plot to keep us divided. However, many people are voluntarily dividing themselves and self-segregating, while some people are trying to pull people together into a coalition, others are pushing them away. So it's kind of like a oil and vinegar thing. And, I think too much is made of unity as well. You need to unify with people who support you, who are like-minded. So people be unity. Okay, fine. Do you want to unify with the people on the Epstein list? Do you want to unify with Nick Fuentes? Do you want to unify with Tucker Carlson or Alex Jones or Vivek Ramaswamy? So when they just throw the term unity out there, and what does unity really mean? There's certain things that you can get done that don't really require unity as well. It may require cohesion and commitment and dedication, but you don't have to be unified to do that, and certain aspects you do, but that's why you got to get people to clearly define what they mean by unity. Because sometimes people say, let's unify. And what they mean is, don't call me out for my BS. Well, that ain't unity, right? That, that's coddling, right? But if we are unified, then I'm gonna have to call you out even more, not in a derogatory manner or a demeaning manner. And it's not necessarily calling you out. I'll say it's calling you up. Hey, here, let me call you up so you can explain this to me. And if there's something that you need me to explain to you, call me up so we can do that. We can do it in a respectful manner. We can do it the easy way or the hard way, the respectful way or the disrespectful way. So there are ways that we can sit down and have respectful, genuine conversations, but we can also sling mud and throw food at each other. The choice is up to you.
The shirt. Hija de puta, come pinga, tú estás escuchando. En este país, no importa cuánto le besas el culo a los
Yeah, the whole Candace, or who I call Kundis Owens, we need to unite. That's a sister. No, Candace Owens said she identifies as Caribbean, right? But then, of course, when she wants to gin up some sympathy, she starts saying black, black, blackity, black, black, black. And then when she talks about the black community, she's talking about the foundational black American community, because she's went on a tangent saying how she has a affinity for Nigerian culture. She loves Nigerian culture. She just, of course, wouldn't want to marry a Nigerian. It's funny because they carefully select Nigerians to come into the country. So many of the Nigerians are some of the top upper echelon in their country and even the continent. But when Candace Owens was looking for love, allegedly, she said she was marrying for IQ. So she was attracted to Asians, and then she found her a white zaddy. So she loves Nigerians so much, but she still thinks that they're low IQ, even though they have some of the highest IQs. And it's not just simply because they're Nigerian or whatever. I'm just saying the people that they carefully select with the advanced degrees, and then they bring them over here and try to compare the very small sample size to an entire population, right? But Candace Owens says she has a Caribbean bias. So she delineates, how am I supposed to unify with that? I'm supposed to unify with her based on melanin, but she sees me as degenerate, debaucherous, and all this stuff. And mind you, she comes from a Caribbean island where like we don't really want to get into the debauchery and depravity. And this is to not crap on anyone. See, I'm very gracious and I'm somewhat hesitant and reluctant to go all the way in as I could with my roasting and with my retort of these people that disrespect us. But they go scorched earth when they talking about FBAs. And I'm like, hold on. Right. And then when I start talking about their homeland, it turns into xenophobia. But they know that we're American, so they target us for our nationality. But no one calls that xenophobia. Many of these people that come over here, whether they're Latino, African, Caribbean, many of them agree with Trump that their place is a shithole. But then if I say it, all right, well, you agree with Trump, go back to the shithole. You're xenophobic. It's like, you agree with Trump, you know what I mean? So like, why are you so salty at me? You know what I mean? So no, we don't need to unify with everyone. Could we get things done? If you look at a lot of the presidents, there were multiple presidents. LBJ, he hated black people. He used to call us niggers with the hardest of the ER, but he would pass legislation that would, benefit black people, but it wasn't for black people. Black people got the crumbs. He passed legislation to give everyone else a slice of pie and to give us crumbs. So by virtue of the crumbs, it was like, well, lesser of two evils, better than the person who gave you nothing, right? But no, we don't need to unify with everyone. We need to distance ourselves from certain people. All of the people that like to say, it's the Jews. Okay, so do you want to unite with these Zionists? Do you want to unite with Bibi Netanyahu, Bibi Satanyahu? Do you want to unite with Alan Dershowitz? What are we really talking about here? Let's get back into it.
Allow me to switch gears and switch over to my Cuban accent. Say hello to my little friend. I even got the shirt. Hija de puta, come pinga, tú estás escuchando. En este país, no importa cuánto le besas el culo a los gringos. Hasta te puedes blichar el pelo para parecer gringa, pero ¿sabes qué? Entre más güera estés y entre más...
And this is a good comment, right? Like I told folks when I was a kid, if you don't want to fight and you can't fight, build this year, then you best start supporting the folks that are willing. And I understand other people, like I said, if you're undocumented, you know, you may be afraid to go out there. If someone has a criminal record, you may be afraid to go out there. If someone has a job where they're in the public eye, you may be afraid to go out there. So I understand that. I'm not the one to shame people to say, why are you not out there fighting for my cause? But if there is someone fighting for your cause, doing something that you're unwilling or unable to do, the least you can do is support them financially if you can. You know, even a little bit could go a long way. And if you don't have the funds, there's multiple things that you can do for free. So liking a post, sharing a post, you know, like telling your friend, tell a friend to tell a friend. Word of mouth is still the most effective promotional tool. So all of these things you can do is free. Don't like sit there, woe is me, I don't have no money, but you have a smartphone that you're on every day. I mean, share out the content unless you don't want people know that you're aligned with this specific issue. And if that's the case, then, you know, you're not serious about change anyways. So you should be the last person complaining and whining. It's extremely grotesque when people like to talk about what certain demographics aren't doing. Why this community is like that, they should do this. Is like, like, have you tried doing that? You know what I mean? Have you tutored? Have you mentored? Have you picked up trash? Did you do a backpack drive, a food drive? Have you employed anyone? Have you did skill sharing? What have you done that's even incremental that we can point to? Most of the times it's nothing. So you have a lot to say, but nothing to show for it. How pathetic could you be?
Te pintes el pelo para parecer gringa, al final del día, tu nombre es María, tu nombre es José, tu apellido es González, tu apellido es Hernández, tu apellido es Martínez. Y cuando abres el hocico, te oímos el acento, pendeja. Entre más blanca te veas, entre más les beses el culo a los gringos y entre más les enseñes a los gringos que tú puedes traicionar a los latinos para demostrar que tú de verdad estás en el equipo de los supremacistas blancos, no importa. Ellos no te quieren. No nomás no te quieren ver, pero tampoco te quieren aquí, pendeja. Esta gente gringa está intentando en encontrar modo para sacar a los latinos de este país de una manera u otra. Quieren ir contra la Constitución y hasta deportar a los hijos y hijas que son nacidos en este país, pero tienen padre y madre inmigrantes. Esta gente no nos quiere. No importa cuánto les beses el culo. Oh, Ricardo, what did you say to her? I said, it doesn't matter how white you want to be, how white you want to act. You could bleach your hair blonde. You can desire white proximity. You can perform white alignment. You could change your appearance and disguise yourself as white as possible. But when your name is Maria, Jose, Juan, and your last name is Martinez, Hernandez, Gonzalez, and when you open your mouth and we hear that accent, you could sing, I will vote for Donald Trump all you want, but you still sound like a spick. You still have the name of a spick. And you and or your parents or grandparents were born in a spick country. In other words, you are not white enough. Donald Trump and the entire administration don't like you so much that they're even trying.
And there's a reason why he said you're not white enough, because many of them are actually racially white. Because how many times do I have to say, there's no race called Mexican, there's no race called Hispanic, there's no race called Latino. And for all the people that say race is a social construct, so is nationality, ethnicity, religion, and all of these various other pseudoscientific societal groupings, right? So many of them are actually blanqueamiento, mejoró la raza, right? And they still are not accepted. Many of them have European ancestry, i.e., Canelo Alvarez. You know what I mean? But, according to the Anglos, the Heritage Americans, the W's, they saying, yeah, you're white, but you just say white.
You are not white enough. Donald Trump and the entire administration don't like you so much that they're even trying to go against the Constitution and trying to find ways to deport children that are born in this country but have immigrant parents. What part of if you look illegal, we can deport you? Do you not understand? There are people that are being detained and even shoved into ICE facilities because they have an accent. There are people that were born in this country, served in the military, and still pulled over by ICE and shoved into detention centers because they look like spics. You know how crazy it looks to know that over 50% of Latinos voted for Trump? In other words, voted for this? And if that ain't enough, when you see these Latinos being dragged out their vehicles, out their workplaces, shoved into trucks, and deported, it is also by other Latinos that are ICE agents. Not only did you vote,
I mean, this is a harsh reality, right? And this is why when people, they try to frame black people as xenophobic because you don't want to go out there and protest. But what exactly am I protesting? When he says, look at the substantial amount of Latinos that they heard what he was saying. I will vote for Donald Trump. They still said that they were voting for him. Not only that, close to 50% of the Border Patrol, Latino. Close to 50% of the ICE agents, Latino. There's a growing number of them that are sheriff and police officers in LA specifically. They have Latinos, and like Sunlight says, wannabe Anglos. They have Latino gangs, and if you can guess what group they're targeting, it's a straight ethnocide on Black Americans all over the country, but specifically in LA. Guess who's spearheading that? Latinos. And it's not just one, it's mainly the white adjacent ones and the ones who know they're not white, but they just praise. I know I can't be white, but if I kiss enough butt, at least you won't treat me like the niggas, right? You know what I mean? So it's unfortunate, but this is the reality. What am I crashing out for? I go out there protest and then I end up like Alex Preddy. The two people that allegedly shot Alex Preddy, guess what? They weren't black, they weren't sub-Saharan, they weren't Caribbean, they weren't African. Guess what? They were Latino. White Latinos at that, because there's no race called Latinos. But, if we want to just do the ethnicity thing, then they were Latino. So Latinos are shooting American citizens because they have, and I'm not saying all of them, I'm saying some, only the some that agree with the MAGA mayhem, right? But where are the Latino people that are making the videos like me? I hear more Latino people calling out black people than calling out their community. They're saying, why black people ain't protesting? We went out there with George Floyd. You know how many other black people have died before and after George Floyd? Y'all got to get a new talking point. And just because you bought a BLM shirt that the proceeds didn't go to black people, or you made a mural that no one asked you to do, that doesn't mean that you stood up for the black community. Thank you. It was a symbolic gesture that no one asked for. But if you did it for the goodness of your heart, why are you trying to throw it back in our face again? Y'all need to march against ICE because we put a hashtag BLM. Okay. I'll put a hashtag ice out and we even, right? Let's get back into it.
Trump, in other words, voted for this. And if that ain't enough, when you see these Latinos being dragged out their vehicles, out their workplaces, shoved into trucks and deported, it is also by other Latinos that are ICE agents. Not only did you vote to be targeted, but after you did so, you also joined ICE.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I was looking for Roger because I was trying to give Roger his mod stick, but yeah, I don't know what YouTube is doing. So that ain't me. You know what I mean? I just want to let y'all know. I don't know what YouTube is doing right now. I guess they don't like what I'm saying. You know what I mean? It's not corporate establishment enough, but welcome to the Chitlin circuit.
Also by other Latinos that are ICE agents. Not only did you vote to be targeted, but after you did so, you also joined ICE to help come get you out of here. And then Latinos still have the audacity to say, where are the black people at? They're resting. And they're also watching. Because they were under the impression for a long time that Latinos were a people that were united. But during this election, they learned that a very large percentage of Latinos desire white proximity, perform white alignment. They learned that they much rather vote for a white supremacist than a black woman. So where are the black people at? They're learning. They're observing. And before I end this video, let me just finish it off like this.
When we standing on business, I'm a big stepper, underground methods.
3 Doritos later.
And now they deported me, they kicking me out, and they breaking my family apart.
You get the results that you deserve. You voted for this. It's a very beautiful thing to see all the Latinos for Trump getting sent out of here. I love this. We, the ones that didn't vote for Trump, we need you guys to get sent out of here so that you don't mess it up for us next election. So bye-bye. Enjoy your trip back home. And don't come back.
Yikes. How do you say yikes in Espanol? Yikes. Hey, salute to Ricardo Ignacio. That's what you call standing on business. Now I'm going to transition to this next story, but salute to him. You know what I mean? I don't really have much to say that, you know, a lot of things that was happening is heartbreaking, and I don't condone the way ICE is conducting themselves. However, we have been telling you that ICE is an enforcement arm. ICE is an immigration police. No, they're not police. They just have police type weaponry and artillery. They're just being given the green light to act like police. Sounds like police to me. Sounds like law enforcement to me. If you harm an ICE agent, do you think they're going to treat them like you harmed a citizen or like you harmed a police officer, right? So let's get into this next topic. I did a video the other day about Stephen A. Smith, or who I call Stephen A. Sambo. Stephen A., why won't you go away? Stephen A., like, bruh. Oh, it looks like Roger is back in the chat. So hold on, Roger. Say something else. Because while you're talking, I'm gonna try to go to my channel and give you the mod stick. So I don't even see Roger. It's like, damn, I could see you on my StreamYard, but I don't see Roger on my YouTube. So I think I'll have to go back and do that a different day. So Roger, I'll give you your mod stick. You haven't got your black card back, but you can get your wrench back. But if you're able to, maybe you can call me later. So let's just get into this video. Stephen A. Sambo, Stephen A. Tether. Why won't he go away? He's pretending as if he's going to entertain a presidential run, but would you guys vote for Stephen A? He hasn't said what his policies would be. He speaks confidently with bloviating bluster, but it's really just a lot of blather. So much empty talk. Let's get into it. So I did a video the other day breaking down his CBS interview. This is like a part 2 because it just seems like he just keeps popping up. He pretends as if, no, I defer to the political geniuses. Well, defer to them. Let us vote for them. Why will we vote for you when you don't know what the hell you're doing? Let's get into this.
Nobody will ever say to the American people, hey, listen, you don't like your tax rates? Make more money. Be more valuable to the economy. You won't have to worry about it. Exactly. Nobody says that because politics is about taking common problems and giving people someone else to blame for them. Sometimes rightly, sometimes wrongly. Let me ask you something. How comfortable do you think you would be? You're not 25. You got a lot of energy and gas in the tank. But do you really want to be a part of what it takes to succeed in politics in America today?
I don't know. I would tell you that once upon a time, it was emphatically no. That has quelled to some degree. I would tell you that I'm living a very, very good life. I like the money I've earned. I've earned it. I want to keep on earning it, and I'm not interested in interrupting my quality of life. But when people talk to you about the difference that you could possibly make, and then I think about the friends that I've made along the way and the level of guidance that I can receive from the people that I know who I'm confident can assist in making a difference for the betterment of this country. It is something I entertain. I believe I'm talking to 2 of those people right now. I can sincerely doubt I will ever be an elected official because, again, I ain't trying to give up my money. But I tell you something right now.
Here we go again. Don't worry, I'm gonna rewind it back. How many times, man, I ain't trying to give up my money and my money. It's like, okay, I get it. Like, we're all trying to make money. We're all trying to be successful. But when you're talking about being the president of the United States and they're already railing against Trump, saying Trump is getting these Qatari jets and, Trump is giving these goodie giveaways and guarantees to his, son-in-laws like Jared Kushner. I think he got like $2 billion from the Saudis. So Stephen A keeps talking about money this, money that in the same breath as you're talking about a presidential campaign, but he's talking about he doesn't want to give up his money, which is fine. So why are you pretending as if you want to run a presidential campaign? We don't need any more greedy, grubby, billionaire, highly paid, highly wealthy presidents. We've already tried that, done that, right? George W., he was supposed to be different, the working class populace, and we saw how he turned out, a warmongering maniac. What is Stephen A gonna do? He's already hedging and saying he would defer to people like Bill O'Reilly and Chris Cuomo. It's like, dude, he's already sinking his campaign before he started. Let's just say that I was excited. Oh, Stephen A, he might run. Who's gonna be in his cabinet? He probably gonna get Chris Cuomo and Sean Hannity and Bill O'Reilly and who else? Jesse Waters. Okay, let's get back into this. This is already a crap show. But Stephen A, he loves his money. Well, then just keep making your money. Don't try to run for the highest land office in the land when he said, oh, I would have to give up my money. How would you be giving up your money if you've already made $100 million? How much more money do you need to make? You're in your 50s or 60s. Like, what? You need to make 100 more million. And then after that, what? You need 100 more million. And as a society, we're talking about getting money out of politics, and all he's talking about is making more money. So if he's this obsessed with money, what do you think he's going to run his campaign on? Being obsessed with the donors who's going to give him the big money in order to run a competitive campaign. He's not going to be focusing on the little people, the people that watch his show, the people that will come up and say, Stephen A, let me get your autograph. He's not speaking to them. He's speaking to the people that he likes to bootlick for. And like I said, Stephen A is a perpetual and persistent butt kisser and bootlicker. Let's get back into it.
Tax rates, make more money, be more valuable to the economy. You won't have to worry about it. Exactly. Nobody says that because politics is about taking common problems and giving people someone else to blame for them. Sometimes rightly, sometimes wrongly. Let me ask you something. How comfortable do you think you would be? You're not 25. You got a lot of energy and gas in the tank. But do you really want to be a part of what it takes to succeed in politics in America today?
I don't know. I would tell you that once upon a time it was emphatically no. That has quelled to some degree. I would tell you that I'm living a very, very good life. I like the money I've earned. I've earned it. I want to keep on earning it, and I'm not interested in interrupting my quality of life. But when people talk to you about the difference that you could possibly make, and then I think about the friends that I've made along the way and the level of guidance that I can receive from the people that I know who I'm confident can assist in making a difference for the betterment of this country. It is something I entertain. I believe I'm talking to two of those people right now. I can sincerely doubt I will ever be an elected official because, again, I ain't trying to give up my money. But I tell you something right now. If I was fortunate and blessed enough to be in the presidency, you think I'm not going to call Bill O'Reilly and listen to him? You think I'm not going to call Chris Cuomo and listen to him?
So why the hell would I vote for you, right? He said he doesn't want to give him my money and he doesn't believe he would be an elected official. I don't like Barack Obama, but wasn't Barack Obama, he was beating his chest saying, yes, we can, hope and change. And here we got Stephen A. Man, I don't think I'll never be an elected official. I don't want to give him my money. Did I tell you I like money? Don't forget, I love money. Man, I love money. And then, okay, who you gonna listen to? Bill O'Reilly and Chris Cuomo? This is not a ringing endorsement. I get it, right? He's just kind of putting his feet in the water to try to see what type of buzz he gets. If you're getting buzz from people like Chris Cuomo and Bill O'Reilly, that's not somebody that you want to vote for. And clearly what's going to sink his campaign is he's not going to get any black support, not no real foundational black American grassroots support. Black women, they ain't going to support him unless it's like tethers and raccoonets. That's the only people that will support him. So this is why he's pandering towards people like this, because he thinks that MAGA will support him. MAGA is not going to support him. Those soccer mom, wine K, liberal lunatics, they're not going to support him. So all he's trying to do is raise his profile. And what he's trying to do is put the doubt out there to say, well, I didn't really think I was going to run and I didn't really think I was serious. So then even if he gets 1 or 2%, once they introduce him going forward, it will be former presidential candidate, author, podcast host, Stephen A. So this is just to raise his profile. He has no shot of winning. He has no black agenda. He's going to be on the same Barack Obama. I'm not the president of Black America. I'm the president of all America. Okay, fine. You're on some all lives matter stuff. So what all lives matter universal policies does he have? He doesn't have any. All he said is that he wants more police and he doesn't want to pay high taxes because he cares about his money. He doesn't care about you. He doesn't want to pay high taxes because he wants more of his money, which is fine, but just stop framing it as some populist as he's trying to look out for the little guy. Even in one of his other interviews, he said, I would pay attention to the desolate and disenfranchised. So he said he would pay attention to poor and low income people, but they've already been paid attention to. They need people to act. They need people to legislate. They need people to do something, not pay attention. You know what I mean? But let's get back into it. This is a crap show.
Level of guidance that I can receive from the people that I know who I'm confident can assist in making.
And not only that, if you need guidance from Chris Cuomo and Bill O'Reilly, what have they done? Seriously, Bill Riley, who's anti-black, this is also what's going to sink his campaign. And you'll see in this interview, right? Bill O'Reilly is extremely anti-black, but this is Stephen A. Friend's good buddy. Same thing with Sean Hannity. Chris Cuomo doesn't give a a dog about black people, but these are the people that Stephen A is going to call on to. And then when black people sink his campaign and help sink his campaign because it's going nowhere fast, he's going to act like, well, I was never serious. I didn't want to give him my money. And then it will also be framed as, see, us black people don't stick together. No. And this is what I was saying earlier about unity. I'm not unifying with just any old person. Stephen A is a buck broken tap dancing Sambo tether. That's what he is. You know what I mean? He's a tether because he works to undermine the black community when he's in these positions, where he's schmoozing it up with all of these high-ranking officials and all of these highfalutin networks. He always finds a way to kind of downplay race. You know what I mean? To say something passively to appease the people, and he just goes out of his way to butt kiss. But when it comes to our community, he'll be drooling, crusting the side of his mouth to call us out. However, he won't ever call out his buddies. Let's watch this video and see if he calls out his buddies for anything.
I like the money I've earned. I've earned it. I want to keep on earning it, and I'm not interested in interrupting my quality of life. But when people talk to you about the difference that you could possibly make, and then I think about the friends that I've made along the way and the level of guidance that I can receive from the people that I know who I'm confident can assist in making a difference for the betterment of this country, it is something I entertain. I believe I'm talking to two of those people right now. I can sincerely doubt I will ever be an elected official because, again, I ain't trying to give up my money. But I tell you something right now. If I was fortunate and blessed enough to be in the presidency, you think I'm not going to call Bill O'Reilly and listen to him? You think I'm not going to call Chris Cuomo and listen to him? I pick up the phone day or night. I want to say this on national TV to everybody. There isn't a time that I picked up the phone to call either one of y'all about something that I didn't know and something that I needed to be educated about that you guys didn't help me on. You're not the only ones, but the point is you always do it. And I'm appreciative of that from the bottom of my heart because I like to learn. I like to get smarter. I like to educate myself, but I believe that when I'm blessed with knowledge, I have the ability to articulate myself and reach an audience like few others. And if you ever put me on that debate stage with some of these politicians aspiring for higher office, with the nonsense that they've engaged in, with the behavior they've exercised, with the tendencies that they've displayed, and the lack of consideration to the American people going up against me, good luck.
You've got to be kidding me. You know what, Stephen A? I gotta hit you.
Hope, please.
Nigga, please.
Hope.
Nigga, what?
Nigga.
Nigga, please.
Nigga, please.
What?
That's what you call a nothing burger. That nothing burger had all the toppings. What y'all like on y'all burger? Bacon, lettuce, tomato. Some people like avocado slices, onions. You like the grilled onions. Everything that you like on a burger was on that nothing burger. What the hell did Stephen A. Smith just say? The only thing that he said was that he's going to call up his butt buddies Chris Cuomo and Bill O'Reilly if he was president. That's not a ringing endorsement. If I was saying like, oh, I want to vote for Stephen A. Smith for president, then it goes off the rails when in the middle of the night he needs some questions answered and Chris Cuomo is who you call. And then he's saying, if they get me on the debate stage, if they get you on the debate stage, this ain't first take. Like, what is he going to do on the debate stage? He has no policies. So what exactly is he debating? Let's rewind that back. And that's all he does. He speaks confidently, but he's not saying anything. A hot air balloon. He's blowing out a lot of steam and smoke. But what did he really say? They're asking him, hey, are you serious about president? Where is the policy? The only thing that he said is that when it's late night and, he gets up to, take a leak, he might call Chris Cuomo or Bill O'Reilly for some advice. There's not a single time where I called them for advice and they didn't give me the advice. Of course, dude, you're a butt broken bootlicker. Of course they will give you advice. They don't see you as a threat. What is he going to do for the people besides call these people for advice? I don't want some president that has Chris Cuomo on speed dial. What policies does even Chris Cuomo stand for? So you don't know what policy Chris Cuomo stands for, or Bill O'Reilly, or Stephen A. Smith, but hey, vote for him because he's not Gavin Newsom? Come on now, this shit don't make no sense.
I like to educate myself, but I believe that when I'm blessed with knowledge, I have the ability, I'm appreciative of that. From the bottom of something that I didn't know and something that I needed to be educated about. That you was fortunate and blessed enough to be in the presidency. You think I'm not going to call Bill O'Reilly and listen to him? You think I'm not going to call Chris Cuomo and listen to him? I pick up the phone day or night. And I want to say this on national TV to everybody. There isn't a time that I picked up the phone to call either one of y'all about something that I didn't know and something that I needed to be educated about that you guys didn't help me on. You're not the only ones, but the point is you always do it. And I'm appreciative of that from the bottom of my heart because I like to learn. I like to get smarter. I like to educate myself, but I believe that when I'm blessed with knowledge, I have the ability to articulate myself and reach an audience like few others. And if you ever put me on that debate stage with some of these politicians aspiring for higher office, with the nonsense that they've engaged in, with the behavior they've exercised, with the tendencies that they've displayed, and the lack of consideration to the American people going up against me, good luck. I would give anything to be on a debate stage with them. Just to show them, listen, we should be listening to people on both sides. Anybody that has America's best interest at heart is who we should care to listen to. I would be that guy. That's the reason why I.
This is getting insufferable. He said we should be listening to both sides. Anybody that has America's best interest at heart, we should be listening to. That's subjective. Nick Fuentes says he has America's best interest at heart. Bibi Netanyahu says he has America's best interest at heart. Alan Dershowitz says he has America's best interest at heart. How far are we willing to go with this? Alex Jones thinks he has America's best interest at heart. And he said, I will get on that debate stage and tell him we need to be listening to both sides. So he would just be up there just like a puppet, like Michael Bloomberg or Deval Patrick, Andrew Yang, someone that's really not going to win, but it just boosts their profile. What happened after Andrew Yang? What did Andrew Yang do? What is he doing now? He tried to create some forward party, but what was that party? He created a forward party that went backwards nowhere, but he did at least up his profile. Now you know who Andrew Yang is. That's all Stephen A. Smith is trying to do. If Stephen A. Smith is trying to, get advice from these two stooges on the camera and think he has any chance of winning a presidential campaign, all right, I got some beachfront property to sell you in Gaza. Let's get back into it. But yeah, this is getting insufferable. And like I was saying, how Fire says, he says he's going to pay attention to the desolate and disenfranchised. What the hell does that mean? What are you going to do? See, when it came to the police, he said, hell no, I ain't defunding the police. I want more police. See how definitive he gets when it's about crime and locking people up? Locking niggas up, right? He's definitive about that. Then RK, cool. What you gonna do for the working class, the middle class? I'm gonna pay attention to them. We don't need everyone. We're already being paid attention to. We're already in a nanny state thanks to Elon, Palantir, the oligarchs, the plutocrats. We don't need anyone else paying attention to us. We need someone stepping up and doing for us. Why the hell will we elect them? We're going to elect Stephen A. to do what? To care about his money so he doesn't want to do anything with taxes and to have more police. Okay. Have y'all heard anything that's convinced you to even consider voting for him? No policies. They're not asking him about any policies. All he says is, oh, if I don't know anything, I'll call a Bill O'Reilly and Chris Cuomo, as if they know everything. 3 stooges, 2 political stooges, and 1 sports stooge.
nonsense that they've engaged in, with the behavior they've exercised, with the tendencies that they've displayed, and the lack of consideration.
Listen what he said. With the nonsense that they've exercised, with the tendencies that they displayed, you have a tendency for tap dancing and being a Sambo, right? You've been engaged in a lot of buffoonery and coonery as well. How are you any different than the politicians you're trying to call out? All of these people actually have political chops. I don't agree with them. I don't align with them. But to pretend as if Stephen A could hold a candle to Gavin Newsom and any of these other people who's already won elected office, right? They've already have a proven track record. You can say that their track record is horrible, but what does that make them? They have a horrible track record, and Stephen A has a non-existent track record. For some, that might work because they think it's a blank canvas. So let's put him in there and see what he can do. But he's already telling you that he can't do anything. That's why he's going to defer to people like Chris Cuomo and Bill O'Reilly. So why would I just vote for one of them? Why do I want a figurehead that can't do anything, that just has a bunch of swamp figures that he calls on speed dial? Nah, I'm good.
And reach an audience like few others. And if you ever put me on that debate stage with some of these politicians aspiring for higher office, with the nonsense that they've engaged in, with the behavior they've exercised, with the tendencies that they've displayed, and the lack of consideration to the American people going up against me, good luck. I would give anything to be on a debate stage with them, just to show them, listen, we should be listening to people on both sides, anybody that has America's best interest at all.
So Roger is asking, both of them have it. Chris Cuomo has it, but his is faded. The black dot is for Ash Wednesday. So this was recorded a couple days ago. So that's them honoring Ash Wednesday. So that's the black dot you see, Roger.
Is who we should care to listen to. I would be that guy. That's the reason why I leave the door open and entertain it, even though I sincerely doubt I will. Just to show them, listen, we should be listening to people on both sides. Anybody that has America's best interest at heart is who we should care to listen to. I would be that guy. That's the reason why I leave the door open and entertain it, even though I sincerely doubt I will ever be willing to give up my money to run for office.
Well, as Stephen A's spokesperson, I'll take that job.
Did y'all hear him bring up the money again? His money. He doesn't want to. Man, I ain't doing nothing with taxes. I ain't giving up my money. So, okay, if you wanted a president, if you wanted a leader of any sort, and all they can talk about is their money, because he didn't say, you know, I don't want to give up my money and I want to make sure that everyone else has more money. He just keeps talking about my money, my money, my money. Is this the what? The Tiny Toons? Is this Montana Max? Is that you? And like this person says, you watch me, you crank that Soldier Boy, says 0 qualifications. No, he has negative 0 qualifications. This dude is pathetic. But like I said, I don't know who's considering that. And then let's see what Bill the bigot O'Reilly has to say.
To run for office.
Well, as Stephen A's spokesperson, I'll take that job too. That's 3. You wouldn't have to call me. I'll be right there. And I think you should run. And I'm being serious now. And Trump opened the door for you. You should send Trump a big bouquet.
So he's being serious now. Y'all heard him, right? He's being serious. All right. Let's see what a serious Bill O'Reilly has to say about his good old boy, his good old grand pal, Stephen A. Let's see what he has to say.
You send Trump a big bouquet of flowers. He opened the door for you.
He'd help you more if he
Now,
gets you
the rest of
arrested.
his candidates.
He'd help you more if he gets you arrested.
Absolutely.
Trump needs to give me an interview. That's what Trump needs to do. He needs to give me an interview. But go ahead.
Well, yeah, as your press secretary, I'll work on that for you. But you can run, but don't have any expectation of winning. See, what you're doing is you're taking a furlough from your dopey sports show, and you're saying, I'll be back because I'm not going to win. But you're injecting yourself.
Did y'all catch that? Do you see Stephen A. Smith face? So Stephen A. was skinning and grinning, looking like the Grinch. And did y'all hear? This is his friend here. And remember, Bill O'Reilly said he's being serious, so he's not joking around. He called Stephen A. Smith's sports show, and you in the chat says that he like him as a sportscaster. Yes, Stephen A. Smith is a talented, entertaining sportscaster. You know, he still is a tap dancing Sambo and Tether, but that's compartmentalizing, that's separate apart from his ability to do his job well, right? Now he's entering into the arena in the realm of politics, where politics is a blood sport, right? So it's like, I don't really know if you're built for politics like that, Stephen A. He thinks that the antics that makes First Take entertaining is going to work in politics. No, politics is cutthroat. People hit below the belt. Then they don't just hit below the belt. They start castrating below the belt as well. So here his good old boy friend, Bill O'Reilly, who said he's serious. He's not joking. He said he's serious. He says Stephen A. has a dopey sports show. You know what the definition of dopey is? Dopey is one, stupefied by sleep or a drug, which is why they had that the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, one of them was called Dopey. They was always sleepy. Yeah, so that's one definition. The other definition is very foolish and idiotic. It's considered derogatory. So he's saying, so clearly he's not saying that his show is sleepy. So what's the other definition of dopey? Very foolish and idiotic. Don't take my word for it. This is not my definition. This is according to Cambridge, Merriam-Webster, and every other definition. Very foolish and idiotic. Why is he talking about his friend like that when he says he's very serious? Let's get back into it. Let's see where this goes.
You're taking a furlough from your dopey sports show, and you're saying, I'll be back because I'm not going to win. But you're injecting yourself in.
Again, this dude is saying, let him be my press secretary. He volunteered. He didn't even volunteer. He said that I am your press secretary. Stephen A. Smith starts shaking in agreement like a bobblehead. And now his alleged press secretary, if he was to run, said, hey, yeah, you can run and I want you to run, but you know for daggone sure you ain't gonna win. And at least it will give you a break from your dopey, idiotic sports show. That's what he's saying. But this is his friend who's being serious. This is his friend who Stephen A. said on the late night, if he needs to call somebody, this is the person he calls. Someone who thinks his sports show is dopey. Okay. Can you spell buck broken? The most important aspect of buck breaking is not the physical, it's the psychological. Once you've been broken psychologically, it's not much resistance. Does Stephen A. appear to be giving resistance? All he's making is little funny meme faces while this dude, his good old boyfriend, is disrespecting him on national, in front of a national audience, because I don't think this is on TV. How pathetic could you be?
You're saying, I'll be back because I'm not going to win. What you're doing is, well, as your press secretary, I'll work on that for you. But you can run, but don't have any expectation of winning. See, what you're doing is you're taking a furlough from your dopey sports show, and you're saying, I'll be back because I'm not going to win. But you're injecting yourself into the debate, the national debate, and you're exposing the charlatans, which would be an amazing historical achievement. You don't have to win. You can go back to the dopey show anytime. They don't have anybody to replace you.
That's twice.
I don't even know who these people are.
Bill O'Reilly.
That's twice.
Bill
he
O'Reilly.
called you.
Bill O'Reilly. Hold on, Chris. Dopey show. That dopey show, come April, will have been #1 for 14 consecutive years in the morning.
And
Let's
you
make sure
deserve
we get that.
But that doesn't
But let me
mean
say
it
this.
isn't
Let me say-
dopey. It's on at
That's
5
it's not
a.m. in the
dopey.
morning.
It's not on 5 a.m. It's on at 10 o'clock. It's 10 to 12 noon. It's 10 to 12 noon, Bill O'Reilly, and you watch it. Stop it. But here's the deal. One thing I want to say this most importantly.
So look, he's over here joking with him. Y'all have seen Stephen A. Smith get extremely animated, but here he is. While the dude is calling his show dopey, which wasn't a compliment, right? This was shot a couple days ago, Careless, where it says what's on his forehead. It was on Ash Wednesday. So this is the way people celebrate. And Green says that was not a compliment. So for one, he's saying that his show was dopey. There's no way that it can be a compliment because both of the definitions could be viewed as pejorative and derogatory. The first one is stupefied by sleep or a drug. So is he saying that his show is dopey and it puts people to sleep? He tries to frame it as, oh, it's early in the morning. It's at 5 a.m. And then Stephen A said it's 10 a.m. Like everybody should be up and out of bed by 10 a.m. unless you work nights or you had a long night and you're hungover. Usually people are up by 10. Kids are to sleep, making breakfast, etc., etc. The other definition of dopey is very foolish. He called his show dopey 3 times, and then Stephen A, instead of saying, "Hey, you disrespected me," he was like, I will let you know that dopey show has been #1 for 4 consecutive years. So whenever some black people, he like the dude, he be railing against them, what I mean? Sometimes it's rightfully so, like Jason Whitlock, who is a big sassy Sambo. I don't care if he goes at him, right? But here he has his good old boy friend disrespecting him to his face, and he's over here trying to explain back and forth. Stephen A, godly, like, bruh, get Bill O'Reilly nuts out your mouth, bruh.
But that doesn't mean it isn't dopey. You don't have to win. Not going to win, but you're injecting yourself.
You're not going to win. So why would you even want to be his press secretary?
Don't have any expectation of winning. See, what you're doing is you're taking a furlough from your dopey sports show, and you're saying, I'll be back because I'm not going to win. But you're injecting yourself into the debate, the national debate, and you're exposing the charlatans, which would be an amazing historical achievement. You don't have to win. You can go back to the dopey show anytime. They don't have anybody to replace you.
That's twice.
I don't even know who these people are.
Bill O'Reilly.
That's twice.
Bill O'Reilly. Hold on, Chris. Dopey show. That dopey show, come April, will have been #1 for 14 consecutive years in the morning.
And
Let's
you
make sure
deserve
we get
it.
that.
But that doesn't mean it isn't dopey. It's on at 5 a.m. in the morning.
It's not on 5 a.m. It's on at 10 o'clock. It's 10 to 12 noon. It's 10 to 12 noon, Bill O'Reilly, and you watch it. Stop it. But here's the deal. One thing I want to say this most importantly. Bill, you have to know this about.
So Stephen A is trying to make a joke about it. His friend, who's being serious right now, doesn't even know when his show comes on, and he calls it dopey multiple times and then defends his usage of calling his show dopey. If anyone had a show and I was like, hey, yeah, I watched that little dopey movie that you made, there's no context where that can be taken as just a friendly gesture. But see, Stephen A, since he's a buck broken bozo, he doesn't mind being disrespected by his friends. With friends like these, who needs enemies?
But that doesn't mean it isn't dopey. You don't have to win. You can go back to the dopey show anytime. They don't have anybody to replace you.
That's twice.
I don't even know who these people are.
Bill O'Reilly.
That's twice.
Bill O'Reilly. Hold on, Chris. Dopey show. That dopey show, come April, will have been #1 for 14 consecutive years in the morning.
And
Let's
you
make sure
deserve
we get
it.
that.
But that doesn't mean it isn't dopey. It's on at 5 a.m. in the morning.
It's not on 5 a.m. It's on at 10 o'clock. It's 10 to 12 noon. It's 10 to 12 noon, Bill O'Reilly, and you watch it. Stop it. But here's the deal. One thing I want to say this most importantly. Bill, you have to know this about me. You have to know this about me. And at this part, I mean seriously. Bill, I don't play to lose. If I...
Hey, and shout out to Sincere, because Sincere coming in hot. She's saying this Knickerbocker about to take it up the culo with these W dudes. Yeah, I can't even lie. Hey, Stephen A, I didn't know that you like to bend over and spread cheeks like this, but Stephen A, I gotta hit you.
With that freaky ass shit, nigga. You's a freaky ass nigga. Fuck you mean? Get your freaky ass on. You know you freak with that freaky ass shit, nigga. You's a freaky ass nigga. Fuck you mean? Get your freaky ass on. You know you freak.
Decide to run is because I intend to win.
That's what
It
I'm
ain't to
talking
make
about.
noise and just to expose the charlatans. It's to win. And if I decide to do it, I'm telling you, I intend to win. Make no mistake about it. I won't do it unless I believe I have a legitimate shot to win it, the presidency.
All right, and that sounds
know that
very
about
good.
me.
But if you don't win, it's still a win. And as your vice president, I'll do everything I can to try to ensure you win.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below.
Yeah, that was hard to watch because, like I said, Stephen A is one of the cringe lords because he's trying to pretend as if he's gonna mount this serious campaign. I'm gonna play one more video pertaining to this topic. I'm gonna transition into something else, and then I'll get ready to shut her down. So just give me one moment. I appreciate y'all. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world. Y'all chose to be here with me, at least momentarily, and for that I thank you. So let me just hit y'all with a quick visual while I pull up this next video, and I will be back in uno momento. Let me just find this video right here. Where the hell is this video at? Okay, here it goes. All right, one moment. I'll be right back.
With me. I got the bad niggas envy. You got a bunk bitch, huh? I love when the bad bitches hit me. They love when I'm bagging them 50. They love when I'm grabbing that shimmy. They love when I'm bagging them 50. They love when I'm grabbing that shimmy. I got a bad bitch with me. I got the bad niggas envy. You got a bunk bitch, huh? I love when the bad bitches hit me. They love when I'm bagging them 50. They love when I'm grabbing that shimmy. They love when I'm bagging them 50. They love when I'm grabbing that shimmy.
I might pull up on your block, whipping and hit me, gripping and send me. I'm on one cause I've been sipping some Remy. These bitches wanna chew because that pimpin' is.
Okay, and we're back active. So this video that I will be reacting to is from none other than Tim Black. He said, Stephen A. Smith can't save himself, let alone America. I concur. So you can watch this uninterrupted on Tim Black TV. Let's get into it.
Ran for president?
No. I know it exists. I know that you can't escape it, but I do not believe it is as prevalent as some on the left would like us to believe. I do believe a vast majority of Americans judge you on the content of your individual character rather than the color of your skin. I think a lot of people in America, especially in
Shout out to Fire. Thanks for stopping through. And thanks for Kimberly is still rocking out. And salute to you. I think you said it was either your father or your grandfather who was on the railroad. Hey, salute to them. And also, I'm sure you know about the real McCoy, so we put in a lot of work on the railroads. I've been thinking about doing like a little small book or docuseries called Railroaded because we don't get the proper credit. As soon as you say railroads, Chinese built it, Chinese built it, Chinese built it. And it's just weird that the group that built the least amount of the railroad gets the most amount of credit. And I'm not saying that they should be denigrated or their efforts should be diminished. It's just we have to tell a complete story. So salute to your family too. I want to tell you that earlier. And then Roger says he's full of sugar, honey, iced tea. I would concur. Let's get into this. And Stephen A is trying to downplay race. I had another video. I'll probably play a little bit of this video. And if I find the other one of him downplaying race, but then also there's videos of where he's saying how pervasive racism is. So he's just a flip-flopper. Whatever crowd that he believes that he can pander to, he kind of bends over and spread cheeks for them. And like Sincere says, he likes to take it up the derriere. Let's get into it.
this day and age, now more so than ever before, it's not about race. It's about the fact that they don't give a damn about it because they got their own problems. That's entirely different than believing they are superior to you and they want to hold you back from ascending. That's not what's going on to the degree that it was decades ago. What's going on now is that we have more white Americans and others suffering and worried about the state of our nation. And because they're concerned about that, that's where their worries lie.
Hold on, let's stop.
Make no mistake.
This is a two-part series. This is two-parter here. Stephen A. Smith, man, I can't believe this guy's actually thinking about running for the presidency. This is going to be something, ain't it, fam? Wow, I love this. This is great. Listen, Stephen A. Smith says, hey, man, he would not be worried about racism. It's not going to impact him. And he's right. It's not going to impact him. Stephen A. Smith's going to sell out. It's going to help him. Like, white people, what do you need me to say about these Negroes over here? I'm so tired of them. Put down the damn weed, Blackie. He's going to say whatever he has to say to get MAGA voters who are liking him saying things that mean about Democrats, and then somehow come back and say he's a Democrat. It's the most, it's a.
And this will always talk about him being a perpetual butt kisser and bootlicker because he's always worried about what they're going to think about him and what they're going to say. So while he say, I'm a black man, I'm a proud black man, you're a West Indian Caribbean dude. So, you know, we're not doing the flat blackness no more. You know what I mean? Say what you really are because you really want to lean into your lineage and heritage. So say what you are. You're a West Indian American. That's what you are, right? And it shouldn't matter. So if it shouldn't matter, it shouldn't matter that I'm being as specific as I'm talking about, right? But he's always pandering towards every other community. And when he has harsh rhetoric to scold and try to wag his finger, he reserves that for the black community, while at the same time pretending as if he doesn't see color and we need to come together. If we need to come together, won't you talk to everybody the same way you're talking to, you know, the black community, which he's not even a part of? This dude is more part of a Caribbean community. That's what he bigs up. What has he said or done for the black community? Nothing. And like Tim Black says, stay off the weed. That's, you know, supposed to be his big shtick, you know, and great advice to the black community. Stay off the weed. And then now there's multiple states where weed is legal. He's not telling people to stay off the cigarettes. Won't you just say stop smoking in general? Why are you fixated on weed? But, you know, he doesn't tell people to stay off the alcohol. Stephen A. Smith, he drinks, you know what I mean? He drinks on his occasions. Why he's not telling people to stay off the alcohol? It's okay to drink legal alcohol, but not okay to smoke legal weed. You know what I mean? And I get it. If you were in states where it was illegal, you do the crime, you do the time. Why didn't you comply? Blah, blah, blah. But the same people that were demonizing weed and calling it the devil's lettuce, now these same people that were mad at black people for smoking a little joint are selling and slanging metric tons of weed. The same weed that they call devil's lettuce. It was devil's lettuce when they was locking us up. Now it's a bunch of the same people that called it devil's lettuce that are selling devil's lettuce by the metric tons. But who is calling out the hypocrisy, right? Get over it. Stop complaining. So what if we ruined lives and destroyed communities, right? Why didn't you just comply? You know what I mean? If it's so bad, then why are non-black people selling it by the tons? Fair questions to ask.
Concerned about that. That's where their worries lie.
Hold on, let's stop.
Make no mistake.
This is a two-part series. This is two-parter here. Stephen A. Smith, man, I can't believe this guy's actually thinking about running for the presidency. This is going to be something, ain't it, fam? Wow, I love this. This is great. Listen, Stephen A. Smith says, hey, man, he would not be worried about racism. It's not going to impact him. And he's right. It's not going to impact him. Stephen A. Smith's going to sell out. It's going to help him. Like, white people, what do you need me to say about these Negroes over here? I'm so tired of them. Put down the damn weed, Blackie. He's going to say whatever he has to say to get MAGA voters who are liking him saying things that mean about Democrats, and then somehow come back and say he's a Democrat. It's the most, it's like a hat trick, baby. So yeah, Stephen A. Smith's not lying. Racism won't hurt Stephen A. He's going to be racist against black people, which is selling out. He says racism exists, but it's nowhere near like it used to be. Yeah, it's not like it's in the police force or the schools or the hospitals or government contracting or bank loans. And it's not like it's in, pretty much every major aspect of living in the United States. It's not like that. I mean, that's how it used to be. Now it's just on X or Twitter or TikTok. Did anybody really listen to Stephen A? Does he think before he talks, or he's just, what is it, man? Of course racism still exists, and of course it's everywhere it was before. It's just now there's a stigma to it. Some people have learned to go underground, but apparently some people are coming out from underground and being a lot more open and transparent with their racism.
I mean, I'm of the mindset that not that I want this, I don't really champion bigotry, but if I had a preference, I would prefer that people wore their bigotry on a sleeve, because many people hold these bigoted views and then they say, hey, buddy, how you're doing there, bucko? And then behind the scenes, they're working to undermine, subjugate, and oppress you. I'd rather someone just come straight, foaming at the mouth, flaming, dropping the M-bomb, because then you already know that this person doesn't have your best interests at heart. It will put you on code. It will put you alert. You'll be more vigilant about various sectors. But what happened is, there's something that I call polite supremacy, where people look at someone being nice and polite to them and say, oh no, they would never call me an N-word, and they would never redline me, and they would never, deny me loans because they were nice to me. Yeah, they were nice to you because you were non-threatening, right? If you see a cute, little puppy, right? Most people are not going to try to beat and torture that puppy because it's like, oh, it's just a little pet. Like, I don't really see this as a threat. I could, do what I want with this puppy at any moment. And that's what really, many people see the Black community as, you know what I mean? Oh, it's just, a non-threatening puppy. We can do whatever we want with it. We can discard it. We can do all this other stuff. And then, but they don't want the puppy to grow up to be a very strong, a strong guard dog, a strong protector of the family. Like, why? That would benefit you. No, we have to keep it, chained like a junkyard dog. Well, if you chain a dog like a junkyard dog, you're not going to get, Beethoven or Lassie or, whatever the other dog, Air Bud, right? You're not going to get Air Bud by chaining a dog up in the junkyard, right? A junkyard dog chained up, is going to behave like a junkyard dog. If you change the conditions of the junkyard dog is living in, you'll have a different dog. You know what I mean? But nobody would look at a junkyard dog and expect them to be acting cute and cuddly like Lassie. But that's what they do. They'll look at a crime-ridden, impoverished area where the buildings are dilapidated, white flight. They don't want to invest there, but somehow they think that this neighborhood should be competing with some super rich Catholic area and say, hey, they're just like that. Well, if your kids excel so much, why can't they go to that dilapidated school, right? They should be able to overcome all the odds. So they're saying that their kids can't overcome those odds, but somehow poor, impoverished, underserved kids should be able to overcome it. The shit don't even make any sense. But let's play a little bit more of this video, and then I will transition, and then we'll get ready to shut her down.
But typically, that's the type of racism that don't matter. Apparently, some people are coming out from underground and being a lot more open and transparent with their racism. But typically, that's the type of racism that don't matter. It'd be like one person making a dumb video. Who cares? Annoying white guy on his train about to get punched in the mouth by about 3 black guys. Fine. These are small prices. These are small levels or indicators of racism. The type of racism that I'm concerned with, the kind that, I don't know, suspends my daughter for wearing her hair as a Black human being. That's a racism that hasn't got anywhere, Stephen A. It's a lot of racisms like that. Yeah, he says,
few times in Las Vegas. I'll be honest with you, I'm not a fan. I think he's a loudmouth. He screams. He yells a lot. He's extremely opinionated. And I guess that's why he gets these huge TV contracts. But I want to play you some audio of Stephen A. Smith. And the reason why I'm playing this is because Stephen A. Smith was asked about if he's worried about racism if he runs for president, which I cannot believe he's even contemplating that. I don't think he'll get 1% of the vote. But before I play you bits of that interview, I want to show you the hypocrisy and why Stephen A. Smith is a two-faced phony, just like his appearances on Sean Hannity. Here's 2 minutes of Stephen A. Smith talking about race and racial issues on ESPN. And there's a reason why I'm playing this for you, but I want to play it for you first before I play the second clip. Have a listen to this.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's no way around this. This is white privilege. We are still black in this country. We don't trust this country in terms of meritocracy always. We know the bottom line is that just like women are underpaid compared to male counterparts, blacks are underpaid compared to white counterparts. Has no team. They ain't African Americans that have been toiling through the terrain and trying to become executives in the National Basketball Association. Last time I checked, that's the case. We see coaches on the sideline. They don't want to become head coaches. They've been assistants for years. You, as a black man that points out these kind of things, this kind of inequities when they take place, I want to make sure Nathaniel Hackett knows this is nothing against him. He gets the job with the full support of Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, who, by the way, never insisted that a black candidate be interviewed and be put front and center so we'll know who that individual is. We got Brad Stevens here. About when we talk about the ease with which dehumanization kicks in when it comes to black men. Mm-hmm. What I can tell you is this. Numerous coaches, black coaches, called me expressing how they took issue with that podcast taking place. They call it Black Friday for, Black Monday rather for a reason. This certainly typifies it. I don't know why it's not called White Monday. Doug Peterson got fired from Jacksonville. He deserved that firing. The one thing that I want to say is that in this nation, on too many occasions, we've lamented black fathers, the absence of black fathers and all of this other stuff. So I find it very, very ironic that when that's not the case with those three men that I mentioned, all of a sudden it's a problem. In other words, y'all won't say it, I'll say it. Yeah. Those in America who think differently, you kiss our ass. Okay, so there's Stephen A. Smith showing strong conviction about racism in America. And by the way, I don't necessarily disagree with him on a lot of what he said there. But here's the Fox News, Sean Hannity, fake Stephen A. Smith, being asked if he's worried about racism if he ever becomes president. See, this is Stephen A. Smith trying to appeal to the Sean Hannitys of the world. Have a listen to this.
Does he worry about racism if he ran for president?
No. I know it exists. I know that you can't escape it, but I do not believe it is as prevalent as some on the left would like us to believe. I do believe a vast majority of Americans judge you on the content of your individual character rather than the color of your skin. I think a lot of people in America, especially in this day and age, now more so than ever before, it's not about race. It's about the fact that they don't give a damn about it because they got their own problems. That's entirely different than believing they are superior to you and they want to hold you back from ascending. That's not what's going on to the degree that it was decades ago. What's going on now is that we have more white Americans and others suffering and worrying.
And the audio that's kind of distorted, that's not my audio. That's from this video. But I'm going to play it, but here he goes. He said, it's not going on to the degree that it's going on. Imagine someone saying, hey, your daughter is being sexually assaulted, but she's not being sexually assaulted to the degree that she used to. She used to get sexually assaulted 50 times a week. Now it's only 43 times. So it's been a decline. So, yeah, he's trying to say that, oh, no, racism. No, it doesn't exist. Well, it does. It's just not going on to the degree. There's no such thing as progressive racism or diet racism. Right. Imagine someone saying, hey, look, we used to enslave this amount of the population. Now we only enslave X amount. There's no form of diet racism. You hear a bunch of MAGA maniacs talking about reverse racism. So when he tries to say, yeah, it's happening, but not to the degree, why is it happening at all? He tap dances and pretends like it doesn't happen at all, and then acknowledges, yeah, it's still there, just not to the degree. Once again, there's no such thing as progressive, racism. If someone was being sexually assaulted 50 times a day and now it's only 39 times a day, is that really progress?
From ascending. That's not what's going on to the degree that it was decades ago. What's going on now is that we have more white Americans and others suffering and worried about the state of our nation. And because they're concerned about that, that's where their worries lie.
Interesting. See, that's a different Stephen A. Smith from what we just heard. There's two types of Stephen A. Smiths. And by the way, I don't take anything this guy says seriously. He has no idea what he's talking about when he's asked about foreign policy. He has no idea what he's talking about when he asked about policies put forth from the left and the right. The man is extremely ill-informed and ignorant when it comes to politics. I'm not saying he's ignorant in general. Obviously, you have to have a brain to do what he does for a living and to get where he's gotten. He's a talented guy in some aspects, but I think he's very ignorant when it comes to day-to-day daily issues, when it comes to policy and what's in the news and what Americans care about. But there's two different types of Stephen A. Smiths. There's the first Stephen A. Smith that I played when he's talking on ESPN about racial issues. And that's when I think he's actually being more honest with the American people, when he's sitting around people that look like him, and he's talking about issues facing the black community. And then there's the Stephen A. Smith that does political interviews, and when he makes appearances on Sean Hannity's show, where he takes the side of right-wing white people in most cases. So this is a phony. Stephen A. Smith is a phony. He is not consistent on his beliefs. He is not consistent on his opinions when it comes to politics. Maybe when it comes to sports, fine. But that's a different ballgame. We're talking about him possibly running to be the next president of the United States.
He's right. Stephen A. is a phony. Even when he calls out the Democrats, then they'll invite him on The View or Stephen Colbert, get a little bit pushback from the DNC and sometimes the sisterhood if he goes after Jasmine Crockett, and then he starts tap dancing and explaining. Bruh, say it with your chest. You know what I mean? So we don't want no flip-flopping president where he's going to say whatever he has to say to appease a particular demographic. I know that's what a politician is, but we don't need any more liars. We don't need any more wealthy scumbags in there to deepen the swamp when we're trying to drain it. Stephen A. would just be adding to the swamp. So as a little bit more of this video, I'll transition into one more video, and then we'll be out of here.
When it comes to sports, fine. But that's a different ballgame. We're talking about him possibly running to be the next president of the United States. Is there anybody that could take anything this guy says seriously? I believe right now, if Pauly Shore said that he was running for president, he would probably get more votes than Stephen A. Smith. I would take Pauly Shore more seriously than Stephen A. Smith. Hey, buddy. Yeah, good luck, Stephen A. Smith. Good luck. Nobody's going to vote for you. People on the left aren't going to vote for you. People on the right certainly aren't going to vote for you. And people in the middle ain't voting for you either. Stick to sports, pal.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it.
Okay, so let me get ready to pull up this next video. Just give me uno momento while I pull this video up. And thank you guys for watching this. Make sure that y'all hit your boy with a like and subscribe to this content. I'll definitely be doing some more streams this weekend, so I'm gonna hit y'all with some interesting content. While I pull up this next video, let me just hit y'all with a visual, and I'll be right back.
That was nasty, bro, like a nasty hoe. I got a nasty flow. My baddie, though, is a classy bro. I manage her and she escort international exports. I got hardware, my tech support. Really about that business, cause I'm that dude, but you just adore. Used to be on that block, equipped with a Glock. I sold all kind of dope. 10 toes down on the pavement. I send that bitch like an envelope.
All right, and we are back at it. So this last video I will be reacting to. And this specific topic, I may do an extended version. This is just going to be, let's just call it a prelude. So you can watch this full video. It's only 5 minutes, uninterrupted, on the Love Jones show. It's titled Haitian Lady Calls Black Americans Dirty. And the Haitian lady was on a channel called the Daily Wrap Up Crew. So I'll play this video and we'll do a little bit breakdown. Let's get into it. And this is why delineation is a must. We're late to the delineation party.
So make sure you stay tuned, like, comment, and subscribe.
As far as I'm Haitian. Why? Where you from? What's your background? You American? Dirty black American?
Here we go.
Huh? What?
Hey, what you say?
American? Black American? What?
No. Hold on. You said dirty black American.
You heard that? You just asked me what I said. I did.
Why you said that?
Because that's what y'all are. Dirty black American.
Girl.
She just said that? I did. A dirty black American. I sure did. Because that's what y'all are.
Just chill out on that dirty black American comment. So, like,
I'm sorry.
See?
You really took offense to that.
Yeah, they swear we start.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
They swear we started this.
why you said that? Though? I'm saying, why would you even fix your lips and say that? Though I'm confused.
Because that's just my experience. Like,
But it's us though. See, now that Haitian with the Dean Bull, the bull nose got up there and said dirty black Americans. That's just what y'all are. First of all, you're sitting in America, looking like a black American, talking like a black American, or like Sadiddy acting like.
So I'm going to let Love Jones cook. I'm going to rewind it back and play a little bit more. And then I'm going to break, try to do a little quick play-by-play of this. But like I said, I'll probably do an extended version of this because this has been going on for quite some time. See, we are the kings and queens of roasting. We don't mind if y'all want to, throw mud, insult us, say derogatory things. But when we clap back, this is when people have an issue. This is why we created the term tether. And actually, it comes from the movie Us, but we just start using it in the cultural context to refer to people that are not of the foundational Black American lineage who work to undermine us. It's no different from if someone says Uncle Tom, which is an inappropriate, outdated, and incorrect term. The correct term is Sambo or coon, but you hear some people say raccoon because certain platforms might ban that particular language. Those are the homegrown people of the lineage that we call them out as raccoons and sambos. Someone who is a raccoon and a sambo from a different lineage, we call them tethers because they're tethering onto our culture. They may look like you a little bit, sound like you a little bit, enough to be a doppelganger. And you think, hold on, is that person FBA? But no, they're from a different lineage and they only tether onto the culture to kind of use it as just like a jacket. Okay, I'm part of this culture, but I can just take it off and discard it, like nothing. So this woman would be the definition of a tether. She's trying to have the aesthetic of a Black American. You go, girl. Yes, queen, sister girl. But she's Caribbean. She's Haitian, and there's nothing wrong with that. Sac passe. Love. I'm a humanitarian. I love people, especially Haitians, but I haven't seen any videos of people calling this type of stuff out. Not this particular woman, but just in general, because this is not new. This has been going on for decades. So since no one else is going to clean up the filth, we have to do it. And when we're cleaning up filth, things are going to get messy. It's already been messy. So it's not going to be pristine and clean, when we're getting some straightening. So yeah, she's saying dirty Black Americans. And then when we turn and say, hold on, what country are you from again? And then we start focusing on their homeland and how much of a hellhole it is. Then people start saying that's xenophobic. But she's targeting her vitriol towards Black Americans. That's our nationality. That's our lineage. How is that not xenophobic? So see, people, because they all always attack our American lineage, but then they try to pivot and say, y'all really from Africa. So they denigrate our American lineage, which we fought for them to get here. Then they try to like make us generic Africans. And then they denigrate and try to say, y'all ain't as African as us. So we're just supposed to be these stateless minions that everyone could just dump and take a crap on. And then when we clap back, suddenly, you know, people start acting like victims. You know what I mean? If you can't stand the heat, get out the kitchen.
You American? Dirty black American?
Here we go.
So if someone said, are you Caribbean? Are you Haitian? Dirty black Haitian, dirty Haitian, dirty, crusty, musty, funky Haitian. Now, I would never say that because I don't believe that. But wouldn't that be appropriate to clap back? She's not only disrespecting our lineage, but our entire country that she fled to. She doesn't want to live in Haiti, and she damn sure can't go to the Dominican Republic. See, you guys are neighbors on Hispaniola. Go to the DR and see how they treat you. They gonna call her a dirty Haitian, and then guess who she's gonna be asking to crash out for her? Nope. Hold your own nuts.
You American? Dirty black American?
Here we go.
Huh? What?
Wait, what'd you say?
American? Black American? What?
No. Hold on. You said dirty black American.
You heard that? You just asked me what I said. I did.
Why you said that?
Because that's what y'all are. Dirty black American.
Girl.
She just said that? I did. A dirty black American. I sure did. Because that's what y'all are.
Just chill out on that dirty black American comment. So, like,
I'm sorry.
See?
You.
And these dudes is being way too nice to this chick because I would have had to hit her.
Bitch, are you high? Are you high?
And as soon as she said dirty black Americans, I would have had to hit her. Like, she said that's what you guys are based on her experience. But, you know, many people don't have the greatest experience with Haitians. I do, you know, I love Haitian people. But if somebody is saying, hey, look, I had a bad experience with a Haitian person, and that's why I consider y'all dirty. Remember, Trump said they're eating the pets, they're eating the cats, the dogs, right? If I say, hey, my experience was I seen a Haitian person eat a dog, so all of them are dirty, that will be considered disrespectful and xenophobic. But she can call black Americans dirty while she's aesthetically tethering and culturally trying to be like us. Hey, Haitian tether.
And I quote, you know your damn role and shut your damn mouth.
Really took offense to that.
Yeah, they said we start.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
They swear we started this.
why you said that? Though? I'm saying, why would you even fix your lips and say that? Though I'm confused.
Because that's just my experience. Like,
But it's us though. See, now that Haitian with the Dean Bull nose got up there and said dirty black Americans. That's just what y'all are. First of all, you're sitting in America, looking like a black American, talking like a black American, or like Sadiddy acting like you're better than somebody. And when we say stuff back, then y'all say we're xenophobic. When we simply just started matching energy, it's a problem. They've literally been popping it about us like this in the same way for decades, and we've never said anything to these people. I've seen multiple podcasts of these people getting up here saying, like, disparaging us, talking down on us, just talking shit, really popping it. And I got to give a disclaimer because I know Haitian people that I love. People be getting offended because I choose to use my voice and my platform to shine a light on this, because I feel like we need to know who is who. We need to stop blindly supporting these people, patronizing their businesses, turning them up, because like a lot of these Caribbeans now.
And this is why we're delineating, because like she said, we need to know who is who. We love everybody, but it's made us weakened by just inviting everybody to the cookout. Some people was in the cookout just to enjoy the time and they love being around us. Some other people are coming to the cookout to infiltrate, to extract information, to extract cultural currency, and then to turn around and crap on us. And we're saying, no, if y'all want to live in these segregated enclaves, then let's just be segregated. You want to be a NIMBY, not in my backyard? Fine. Not in my backyard either, right? You want to redline us? Fine. You redlined us so that we're separated and segregated. Well, then let's just be separate but equal then, right? And then they start saying, oh, you sound like a white nationalist. Well, you're not trying to come together. Why is Chinatown trying to strictly preserve its Chinese heritage. I thought we were all minorities and people of color and we're all minorities. No, they're saying this is Chinatown. We need to make it ethnically Chinese, right? But then when we say, okay, well, we're foundational Black Americans, we want a neighborhood that's ethnically ours. No, we got to dump a bunch of Hispanics over there. And then if you don't like Hispanics, you're xenophobic. And who's going to pick your fruit? Most of them are not picking fruit. So I don't know why y'all keep saying that, right? Every other group could have their own ethnic enclave. Why is there a Hasidic Jewish neighborhood? I thought we were all Americans. We're all minorities and people of color, but yet they can have their own ethnic enclave. Why is there a Korean town, own ethnic enclave? Little Jamaica, little Cuba, little Havana. But as soon as you have, you try to have a foundational Black American town, somehow they consider that DEI. You know what I mean? There's all white enclaves and it's perfectly fine. So on one hand, y'all don't want to live next to us. And then we say, fine, y'all don't want to live next to us. Let us just have our own neighborhood. That's reverse racism. How? You don't even want to live next to us. And then we say, fine, go over there in your little hillbilly hick town and we'll do our thing. You know what I mean?
I gotta give a disclaimer because I know Haitian people that I love. People be getting offended because I choose to use my voice and my platform to shine a light on this because I feel like we need to know who is who. We need to stop blindly supporting these people, patronizing their businesses, turning them up because like a lot of these Caribbeans, not all, but some of them, they look, act, talk, walk just like us and they be promoting stuff to us and we really do support them under the guise of Black-owned business and Black-owned this and that, just like the Jamaican girl with the cookie wash. Talking mad crazy about us. Unprovoked. That was unprovoked. She want to get up here and talk about how Black America.
And what she's saying is because this is what people do. They'll say blackity black, black, black. And then when you get in there, I'm not Black, I'm Haitian. I'm not Black, I'm Nigerian. I'm not Black, I'm Brazilian, Cuban, etc. So won't you say that it's a Cuban owned business, a Haitian owned, Jamaican owned business, a Nigerian owned business, and see how far you get with that. Instead, they try to use the cultural currency of Blackness, which we stood on. We were saying, say it loud, I'm Black and I'm proud, not say it loud, I'm African and I'm proud, not to denigrate any African genealogy or ancestry. But we knew about us having an ethnogenesis, which created a new ethnic group and based on science, a new racial group. Y'all don't take my word for it, look it up. How many generations does it take for a new ethnic and racial group to form based on the admixture environment, etc.? You know, on the low end, 2 to 4 generations, you know, on the moderate end, 8 generations, you know what I mean? And we've been here well longer than 8 generations, even on the low end, well past 5 generations. So there's been so many different environmental, cultural differences, different phenotypical admixtures where it's just not the same people. You can say that there's similarities, but similarities don't mean the same. Crocodiles and alligators are similar. An alligator is not a crocodile.
Is dirty. Let me show y'all what the hell is going on in Haiti right now. Haiti is facing a severe, multifaceted waste management crisis with only about 12% of the estimated 6,380 tons of daily waste collected. Underfunded, insufficient services, and limited landfill infrastructure forces residents to dump trash in the streets and waterways, causing severe health hazards like diarrhea and respiratory illness. Now, this is very sad. Me pointing out these things that's going on in Haiti is not me trying to even talk down on the people in Haiti. I feel bad about this. This doesn't make me feel good. But I'm going to show y'all some pictures. Hold up. Now, look, I just grabbed these off of Google. This is what it looks like in Haiti. And she's calling Black Americans dirty. Dirty Black Americans. Yet this is what your homeland that y'all fled from looks like. And they're about to end that TPS status. Well, actually, no, they're not about to end it.
And see, like I said, when it comes to roasting, we're not the ones to play with. But then is this really roasting or is this just reporting the truth? And there's some really prominent Haitian people, whether it's like, I know one dude, I think he plays for the Oklahoma City Thunder, Lou Dort. And there's some other prominent Haitian people. Why aren't they talking about this? Right? So and this is where it gets a little bit cowardly for me, because many people will come over, they love to fly the flag of their home country, but they don't care about the current state of their home country. So why are you even flying that flag? You're just trying to, flex to me. Oh, look, man, I represent the flag. That flag is representative of a country that you don't give a fly and flip about. You're not trying to go back. And then when people do go back, they go and try to live like kings while not trying to change the conditions of their homeland. See, they always try to tell us, FBAs, y'all don't know who you are. You don't know where you're from. I do know who I am, and I do know where I'm from. My motherland is here in America, the United States, right? But you do know who you are and where you're from, and you speak your language, but yet you're over here in America. That's fine if you're over here in America, but you don't have any plans on going back. You don't have any plans of going back and cleaning up the filth and the famine over there. And yes, the US is destabilizing it. Yes, there's a bunch of US imperialism, coup d'etats, puppet leaders, etc. There is a lot of sabotage going on. The sabotage is happening with the complicity of your government. So yes, as much as we're going to call out U.S. imperialism, colonialism, the barbarism from the French, etc., we have to call that out, simultaneously pointing the fingers at the corrupt leaders. Like when you talk about Dessalines and the Haiti revolt in 1804, tell the whole story, how some sellout Tethers and Sambos over there killed the people who were responsible for their revolution and liberation, right? You can't blame everything on the big bad colonial powers. You can give them most the blame, but you have to give some blame to your people who were complicit and colluding with the destabilizing of your country. You know what I mean? It's not one or the other. It's both. And let's get back into it. And I'll be getting ready to shut her down within the next 15, 20 minutes. Appreciate y'all for being here.
Trying to even talk down on the people in Haiti. I feel bad about this. This doesn't make me feel good. But I'm going to show y'all some pictures. Hold up. Now, look, I just grabbed these off of Google. This is what it looks like in Haiti. And she's calling Black Americans dirty. Dirty Black Americans. Yet this is what your homeland that y'all fled from looks like. And they're about to end that TPS status. Well, actually, no, they're not about to end it. It ended on February 3rd. This is what you got to you go back home. Talking about we dirty, go back. Now, like I said, I have people that I love that's Caribbean. I love some African people. I love some pale-faced people. There's a lot of good whites out there too. Don't get me wrong. But we are not just going to sit back and continuously allow y'all to disrespect us, denigrate us, talk about us, and talk down on us like you're better, especially when your homelands literally is a waste. It's just... I just be... Oh, God. Like, I'm not doing this out of hate because I know people be saying, oh, you're so hateful. But why do we always have to take the high road and turn the other cheek? That was mad disrespectful for her to say. Took my, that's my experience. So go home. Go home and help to clean up Haiti since it's so dirty here. Since we're so dirty. With your dick and balls, nose, head, ass. Anyways, what y'all think about this? Spread love is the Brooklyn way. We don't make this up. Y'all love to get on these goddamn, when I do my live streams or when I be seeing other panels, y'all love to make it seem like we just xenophobic and we just starting with y'all. We just got all of this hate and hate for immigrants. That's not true. That has never been the case. We've always loved and supported y'all. You see, she's on a Black American podcast right now, getting some clout, getting some shine. They probably paid her. I don't know. But whatever it is that she's doing, she would get to promote her little whatever. And she gets up there immediately disrespecting them and disrespecting their culture. And then I seen another part, like I kept watching it while I was letting it play because I was doing something else. I was listening. And somebody was like, oh, I know we need people with culture. We need people with some culture. Saying, once again, insinuating Black Americans have no culture. Yeah, you sit up there looking, walking, talking, and acting just like a Black American. Bye, y'all. It gets to a point.
Okay, so shout out the Love Jones show, and it looks like we've been joined by an illustrious guest. I ain't seen you in a minute. Lotus Tie, the lovely Lotus Tie, where you been hiding at? But no, I hear you. I know, your man probably got you in the kitchen, whipping up some sandwiches. So I feel you, you know what I mean? Making them sandwiches is more important. But shout out to the lovely Lotus Tie in building. But yeah, and look, this is not, I know a lot of people like to throw that term out. Oh, you had the flu. Oh, my bad. Okay, that makes sense. Well, then, if I could, I would bring you some soup. You know what I mean? But hopefully, you feel better soon. And thoughts and prayers to Lotus Tie. But are you really sick, or are you just playing hokey? Because when you first said you had the flu, I was thinking,
Right.
are you just playing hokey or what? Now I'm sure you're really sick, and hopefully you do get well soon. And you said you had the flu, so that's past tense. So maybe you're doing well now. But I'm gonna go ahead and pull this down because I'm gonna get ready to shut her down. But I want to give a shout out to everyone that's viewing this live concurrently and the people that will be watching this on the replay. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world. Y'all chose to be here with me, at least momentarily. And for that, I thank you. I do think I will do an extended stream about this particular topic because many people are coming over, cosplaying, tethering onto foundational Black American culture and history, while at the same time spitting on it and denigrating it. And many of our civil rights leaders or misleaders, elders and olders, they tolerated a lot of that disrespect. But those days of just unchecked, unregulated disrespect, those days are over. So I do want to hit a few visuals. It's only going to take about like 10 minutes or less. So hopefully y'all stick around to the end. And just in case y'all didn't hit that like button yet, let me give you a friendly reminder. Time for a like intermission. We kindly request that you show love to the channel's creator and platform by leaving a like, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell to stay up to date with all the latest content. Liking posts is completely free and helps the algorithm boost our reach. We want to grow the community larger and larger. So thank you all who take the time to support us. It does mean the world to us and doesn't go unnoticed. And I always like to say, it won't cost you a fee. The likes are free. Like, share, comment, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. You know what I mean? Hit that notification bell so you stay abreast. Many of my streams are impromptu. I don't have a schedule just yet, but the more y'all support me, I will try to see which time is more favorable and preferred for my audience. So I'm gonna run a couple more visuals, but like I said, it don't cost you a fee. The likes are free. However, if you're a baller and you're feeling generous and you want to make a financial contribution,
Pull a string, Red. Pull a string. Will you pull a string? Woman, where's my money? Where's this money?
For the love of money.
Don't you think it's about time you gave me my money?
Want my money? I need cash. Please send that money. Hey, please send that money.
Now, before we get up out of here, I gotta hit you. Yeah. Hey. B-Eazy Dat Dude, shit so hot it's burning up. Just go ahead and turn this up. I bring the pain like an aftermath of a car wreck.
Sandman like Goku. Bad bitches at the house with me watching Netflix or Roku. Fuck them both at the same time, and I swear to God it was so cool. Street legend, real boss, I call shots cause I'm still saucy. I know some G's to the bike crack on shite racket and fly back out the mill. When they hear me flow, they say I be burning up, burning up. Cookie to the draw is what we burning up, burning up. What you ain't know, oh we burning up, burning up. This shit so hot, it's burning up. Just go ahead and turn this up. When you hear me flow, say I be burning up, burning up. Cookie to the draw is what we burning up, burning up. What you ain't know, oh we burning up, burning up. This shit so hot, it's burning up. Just go ahead and turn this up.
B-Eazy that dude. B-Eazy that dude. Yeah, they know the name. Stacking up the paper, but having money ain't a thing. Standing on business, burning hotter than a flame. From the block to the ballroom, you gotta stand the rain. B-Eazy that dude. Yeah, they know the name. Stacking up the paper, but having money ain't a thing. Standing on business, burning hotter than a flame. From the block to the ballroom, you gotta stand the rain. B-Eazy that dude, yeah they know the name. B-Eazy that dude.
You love me. You really love me. You're not going anywhere.
Yeah.